We are not enemies. I can feel your malice. Malicious. Orochimaru seemed to realize something. Looking at Lu Han, the whole person became calm, even his breathing slowed down, and Lu Han's eyes gradually widened. Orochimaru becomes an orange name. What the hell? How did he do it? The system will never go wrong, because it has never been missed. Orochimaru can change when he says he wants to, and let go of his malice when he says it is. Did he hypnotize himself, or did he have a terrible psychological quality that could adjust his thoughts at will? Interesting, Lu Han said in a low voice, throwing away the blood on the knife, but didn't put it away. Do you want to know the cause of White Fang's death? Orochimaru asked again. He knew Lu Han's mind. After all, 10 years ago, Han Guang and White Fang were close friends. Speak. Lu Han sighed. Chapter 0871_The Truth. Lu Han has already stolen White Fang's body, but if he wants to resurrect White Fang, it will take several months, and the resurrection may fail. Therefore, if he can really know the cause of White Fang's death from Orochimaru's mouth, Lu Han will naturally willing to listen. No matter how Orochimaru changed his mind, the system judged that it would not lie. As long as he is not Yuhi's name, the credibility of what he said is very high. Can I ask you a question first? Orochimaru asked. Lu Han replied with a nasal voice. Who else knew that you were resurrected? Orochimaru asked. This sentence was very skillful. A simple question could make Orochimaru understand Lu Han's identity and position after being resurrected. Makoto. Lu Han said 2 words. Only Uchiha Makoto knew that the others all thought that someone was impersonating the cold light. Orochimaru's heart is set. He was worried about was that Lu Han had already been in contact with Sarutobi Hiruzen and others. In this case, what Orochimaru said might turn out to be a lie when he arrived at Sarutobi Hiruzen. Sarutobi Hiruzen knew that Han Guang was resurrected, and he would definitely take precautions and make arrangements. White Fang did commit suicide. He couldn't stand the humiliation. Lord Hokage scolded him. The whole Konoha public opinion was extremely unfavorable to him. Even some Anbu ninjas secretly said that he was not. He failed in his mission and exposed Konoha. His intentions caused a great diplomatic crisis, so the fault was all attributed to him. White Fang is a very proud person. He is not vulnerable, but when someone told him that he was immortal, it was not enough to solve this diplomatic crisis. When he died. Is this the truth? Lu Han narrowed his eyes. Of course not. Then go on. This matter is very complicated. It involves White Fang's attitude towards Sarutobi Hiruzen, Sarutobi Hiruzen's concerns about White Fang's authority, and the involvement of a third party. This third party you should be familiar with is the person who kidnapped Tsunade. Lu Han suddenly changed color. White Zetsu. Is it White Zetsu? I don't know what his name is, but I've seen him in. The white one is called White Zetsu, the black one is called Black Zetsu, and the half-black and half-white one is absolutely. It's a combination of White Zetsu and Black Zetsu. Lu Han said quickly. Orochimaru's eyes lit up, and after a pause he said, that's White Zetsu. I saw him in the village once, and once again he was exposed in the village, and Sarutobi Hiruzen chased him, but then he appeared in the Hokage building. Sarutobi Hiruzen is also in the Hokage building. Quote. Lu Han listened, his thoughts turned sharply, digesting the information brought by Orochimaru. Sarutobi Hiruzen and White Zetsu turned enemies into friends. Not impossible. There are no permanent enemies, only permanent interests. Sarutobi Hiruzen is very dark and insidious in private, but one thing is certain, he will never do anything to harm Konoha, he will not betray Konoha. And as long as White Zetsu proves to Sarutobi Hiruzen that he does not harm Konoha, but does something for Konoha and provides information to Konoha, then it is not a problem to turn an enemy into a friend. That's how people are. There are too many such plots in the original book. People are fickle, all kinds of betrayals, and all kinds of reconciliations. The previous moment was full of blood, and the next plot is to fight hand in hand. Sarutobi Hiruzen is someone who always thinks about the big picture, and if White Zetsu can really bring him enough benefits, then anything is possible. Of course, all of this is Luhan's guess, and the truth is unknown. I don't know much about White Zetsu. This is the result of my secret investigation, but White Fang is very clear. Orochimaru continued, it is because of White Zetsu that White Fang's relationship with Sarutobi Hiruzen appeared. The rift, White Fang seems to object to Sarutobi Hiruzen's contact with White Zetsu. Of course, as a subordinate, at most, he suggested to Sarutobi Hiruzen that he can only speak his mind, but cannot change anything. This is one of the reasons for White Fang's death, because of that white guy, White Zetsu. Orochimaru stopped after speaking. He was waiting for Luhan to laugh at the information. Luhan was silent for a while before he said, continue. The second inducement, because of Uchiha Leiyang. Luhan's spirit was shocked. Orochimaru should be fully aware of the cause of Uchiha Leiyang's death. After all, such a big thing must be the intention of the high-level Konoha, and it cannot be the intention of Orochimaru alone. Uchiha Leiyang also knew that White Zetsu and Sarutobi Hiruzen were in secret contact, and even suspected that the two had cooperated. Orochimaru continued, his reaction was extreme, he felt that Sarutobi Hiruzen betrayed Konoha. Because that White Zetsu killed you murderer. And you, single-handedly pulled out Uchiha Leiyang, you can even say, Uchiha Leiyang, is your die-hard. Quote. Luhan was thoughtful. Because of this, Uchiha Leiyang began to communicate secretly after knowing about White Zetsu. He intends to overthrow Sarutobi Hiruzen's rule over Konoha. From Sarutobi Hiruzen's point of view, he wants to rebel, but from the point of view of others look, it's not like that, he's not going to rebel, but to clean up the traitors for Konoha. But Sarutobi Hiruzen is Hokage after all, Kaharu Udatane, Homura Mitokado and others are all his cronies, for this high-level secret meeting was held 7 times in a row. I don't know the content of the meeting, only 5 people know about the whole of Konoha, including the dead White Fang. After that, Sarutobi Hiruzen first deprived Uchiha Leiyang of his advisory position, and after a while, Konoha Anbu secretly started to unite with the Uchiha people who opposed Uchiha Leiyang. His confidants were attracted and killed. Then, Sarutobi Hiruzen told the public that Uchiha had betrayed Leiyang. The truth. This is the truth of Uchiha Leiyang's death. Luhan suddenly felt a little stuck in his heart. Uchiha Leiyang is really surprising. He actually opposed Sarutobi Hiruzen's collusion with White Zetsu for the sake of the dead Han Guang, and even wanted to overthrow Sarutobi Hiruzen's rule, but he didn't know how much of it was true and how much was selfish. What does this have to do with White Fang's death? Luhan asked suddenly with a frown, as if he was too far away. White Fang refused this mission. Orochimaru said heavily. Chapter-261 their death. Luhan was stunned for a moment, then clenched his fists. He understood. White Fang also does not agree that Sarutobi Hiruzen is secretly colluding with White Zetsu, even if Sarutobi Hiruzen is for Konoha. Sarutobi Hiruzen can even let go of the captivity, but White Fang can't accept it. Also because of the cold light. In fact, Sarutobi Hiruzen can solve this matter with gentler means, such as secretly killing Uchiha Leiyang. After all, his dominance is threatened, but Sarutobi Hiruzen's method is to kill and end the entire real power of the Uchiha clan and kill all Uchiha Leiyang and his cronies, also labeled them a rebellion. Using thunder means to nip the unfavorable factors in the bud. From Sarutobi Hiruzen's point of view, this is obviously the best way to deal with it, and it is also a shock, so that other people who know White Zetsu shut up. White Fang obviously couldn't accept all this. To multiple factors, White Fang, who has always been loyal to Sarutobi Hiruzen, refused the mission. This is the first time that White Fang has refused Sarutobi Hiruzen's mission since he became Sarutobi Hiruzen's confidant. White Fang is a person who is not afraid of death. For the mission, how many times he has survived. Orochimaru continued, but that time, About Uchiha Lei Yang's mission. He refused, and in this way, he expressed his dissatisfaction with Sarutobi Hiruzen. After White Fang refused, who took Anbu on the mission? Lu Han interjected. Hyuga Burnin, Orochimaru said. Lu Han nodded. Sure enough, it was him. This guy is from the Hyuga clan. The Hyuga clan and the Uchiha clan have always been enemies. In Anbu, aside from the extremely powerful White Fang, he is naturally the most suitable candidate. Sarutobi Hiruzen has been very uneasy since White Fang refused to carry out the mission. At that time, he still believed in me and said things to me that people are unpredictable. Orochimaru showed a rather sarcastic smile. White Fang's status too special. He is almost a perfect person, strength, character, fame. His status is second only to Sarutobi Hiruzen and Koharu Udatane. If Sarutobi Hiruzen dies suddenly, Koharu Udatane is not strong enough, and the one who ascends the position of Hokage must be him. Sarutobi Hiruzen is very worried, even fearful, because he has no power to fight back in front of White Fang. White Fang knows too many secrets about him. If White Fang really wants to overthrow him, then Sarutobi Hiruzen will be lost. But Sarutobi Hiruzen can't move. White Fang, that mission about Uchiha Lei Yang, can't be said in plain sight. In plain sight, White Fang is impeccable. Even if Sarutobi Hiruzen dismisses him, White Fang is still White Fang. He still has that kind of prestige status. Sarutobi Hiruzen really can't do anything about him. Lu Han already knew the real cause of White Fang's death, but he didn't speak, and was still listening to Orochimaru. Sarutobi Hiruzen began to distrust White Fang, and this distrust became more and more serious as time went on, and at the same time, Sarutobi Hiruzen also resented you. Lord Hengguang, you have been deified by Sarutobi Hiruzen, you have become the legend of Konoha. The reason why it will be so, not for the reason it seems. Sarutobi Hiruzen is not trying to give Konoha a hero and inspire the next generation, but he is trying to appease some people. Quote. It's all because of you. You are the real peacemaker of the ninja war. Many people are grumpy because of Sarutobi Hiruzen's secret connection with White Zetsu, including Koharu Udatane. Because White Zetsu is the murderer who killed you. Sarutobi Hiruzen, in order to appease them, in order to suppress the voices of opposition, gradually began to deify you, write you into textbooks, sing praises for you. You became the greatest ninja since the founding of Konoha. Only then, Sarutobi Hiruzen and kill you, the murderer who colluded with him, will be forgiven by some people. Quote. Actually, Sarutobi Hiruzen has secretly hated you, and your loyalists have been eliminated by him. The only exception is the current Anbu captain Hatake Teishuo, who is your direct disciple and your diehard, but Sarutobi Hiruzen is still using him. I don't know why, but I guess what Sarutobi Hiruzen should have promised to Hatake Teishuo, I don't know exactly. Some digress. Before, it was still the cause of White Fang's death, but now Orochimaru has begun to blacken Sarutobi Hiruzen, shaping Sarutobi Hiruzen into Lu Han's enemy. Lu Han understands Sarutobi Hiruzen's mind and doesn't mind, because he knows what Sarutobi Hiruzen is. Say White Fang. Lu Han interrupted Orochimaru anyway. Orochimaru paused, then said after a pause, Sarutobi Hiruzen was also surprised by White Fang's death. He didn't expect White Fang to be so tough, he just wanted to beat White Fang to give White Fang some pressure, and on the one hand, he destroyed White Fang's reputation. On the one hand, wants White Fang to bow his head and admit his mistake. He didn't expect White Fang to be so tough and end it all with suicide. White Fang is completely disappointed with Sarutobi Hiruzen. He is disheartened. The pressure of public opinion is only one aspect, and on the other hand, Sarutobi Hiruzen's indifference and fueling the flames chills his heart. White Fang will not betray Sarutobi Hiruzen, but Sarutobi Hiruzen betrayed him. What can White Fang do? With his character, there is no way he could have done harm to Sarutobi Hiruzen, or Konoha, so. I think, this is the reason for the ultimate suicide. Quiet. There was no human voice in the valley, only the wind whimpered. After Orochimaru finished speaking, he stared into Lu Han's eyes. He wanted to know Lu Han's inner activity now. Lu Han was very calm and didn't say a word. Lu Han didn't expect that Uchiha Liuyang's death and Hitaki Tsukumo's death were all related to him. Sarutobi Hiruzen actually had a secret connection with White Zetsu. How much benefit did White Zetsu give him? Is Uchiha Madara really alive? Orochimaru asked suddenly. Huh. Lu Han looked at Orochimaru. The fact that Uchiha Madara was still alive must have been revealed by Tsunade. Lu Han was not surprised, and paused. I'm dying. I will kill him. Orochimaru's expression moved. It is true. The rumor that Uchiha Madara is still alive has been circulating in the ninja world since Han Guang's death. For 10 years, no one has ever confirmed it. Most people don't believe it at all, and the rest are skeptical. Only Han Guang can prove it. You can't go back to Konoha. Sarutobi Hiruzen will kill you. Orochimaru said again. Lu Han didn't say anything and looked at him. We're not enemies, are we? Orochimaru said again. Chapter 0873 _ to kill or not to kill. Orochimaru said so much and wasted so much saliva with only one purpose, that is, to make Lu Han stand against Sarutobi Hiruzen. The enemy of the so-called enemy is a friend. Originally, Orochimaru did not intend to be an enemy of Sarutobi Hiruzen. Sarutobi Hiruzen did not owe him anything. He killed a lot of Konoha ninjas in order to study the forbidden technique. If Sarutobi Hiruzen knew about this, he would definitely not forgive him, and Orochimaru had a premonition that the matter was not far. Nature is the enemy. Orochimaru very much hopes to be in the same camp as Lu Han. He wants to know how Lu Han was resurrected. Even if Lu Han is willing to share this with him, he is willing to share all his current research results with Lu Han. Life and death. Orochimaru has seen too much. Unlike other heroes, strong men, and heroes, Orochimaru is very afraid of death. There is a difference between being afraid of death and being very afraid of death. Otherwise, he will not study the art of immortality. For immortality, he really does everything. Come out. Lu Han stared at Orochimaru. He was already thinking about whether to kill Orochimaru. This is a peerless genius who can cultivate impure world reincarnation. Lu Han has no doubts about the value of Orochimaru. If he can really cooperate with Orochimaru and even subdue Orochimaru, then Lu Han really doesn't need to kill him, but the premise is. He is it believable. This is a man who can change his mind at will. Miraculous power. Lu Han asked himself that he couldn't do it. For example, he wanted to kill Uchiha Madara. Even if he hid it in the deepest part of his heart, it would still exist, but Orochimaru was able to let go of his murderous intention, and he really let it go. I'm very confused. I can't feel any malice in you. How did you do it? I don't understand. Just ask. It's just a change of mind. Orochimaru was very candid, and if he wasn't frank, he became Yuhi. I was thinking before, should I catch you and ask you how you were resurrected, or, in other words, study you in slices. Now I'm thinking, I'm not your opponent at all, and you're really dead. Come back to life again, twice again, no matter what. I can't really kill you, but I got into big trouble myself. So my thinking now is, can you tell me how you came back to life? Very scary psychological quality. Orochimaru's control over his thoughts is pervert. This kind of change is easy to say, but it is super god to change it. What if I don't tell you? Lu Han asked. I will give you enough benefits, such as the information you want, such as what you need, etc. I believe that I can impress you. Orochimaru said. The stalker was so refreshing and refined by what he said. Lu Han suddenly understood one thing. That is, since Orochimaru can suddenly change from Yuhi to Orange, and vice versa, he can also suddenly change from Orange to Yuhi, a very stable and dangerous guy. Lu Han began to reconsider, should he kill him? Not safe. Really unsafe. However, a chance to subdue Orochimaru is in front of Lu Han's eyes. Now Orochimaru has not yet researched the idea of reincarnation without corpse. If Lu Han masters this technique, then he can. You kill me now, Tsunade will be very sad. Orochimaru said. How shameless. Orochimaru knew how deep Lu Han's love for Tsunade was. This was to find Lu Han's weakness. Indeed, if Orochimaru died suddenly, Tsunade would definitely be very sad. After all, Orochimaru at this time just killed some irrelevant people. In the early years, Orochimaru killed innocent people indiscriminately for the mission. Sarutobi Hiruzen made a small report and denounced Orochimaru's inhumane behavior, but this kind of thing could not affect the friendship between Orochimaru and Tsunade. Put it simply, Orochimaru has been a ninja for 30 years, and he has been injured and dying many times. Most of these injuries are for the protection of Tsunade. If you think about it this way, Orochimaru is not very black. He has blocked so many open and dark arrows for Tsunade, and the friendship is not ordinary. Orochimaru has begun to blacken, but he has not yet sinned. He is currently running like a wild dog on the road of blackening. I'm looking for Tsunade. After you return to Konoha, help me with Anbu's information. Regarding the resurrection, if there is a suitable opportunity, I will explain to you. I will live at Makoto's house for the time being. Lu Han, after speaking quickly, he turned around and left without giving Orochimaru a chance to say anything else. Orochimaru looked at Lu Han's leaving back, his eyes gradually became frenzied and calm again. Resurrection. Eternal life. Orochimaru has been studying hard for 10 years, but there is no result. Now, a shortcut has been placed in front of him, and that is Lu Han. In fact, unless there are special circumstances and unavoidable reasons, Orochimaru will not touch Lu Han with a single finger. Why? Because the living will take the initiative to cooperate with Lu Han, who takes the initiative to speak, is the shortcut. The dead Lu Han, the sliced Lu Han, who can guarantee that the results will be researched? The simplest and most perfect result is that Lu Han himself told him the secret of resurrection. He will work hard for it. He relied on his own research, and it might take another 10 years to get results, but if Lu Han told him, maybe tomorrow, maybe a year later, there would be results. Of course, all of this was based on the fact that Lu Han was too strong. If Lu Han was weak, it was hard to say what Orochimaru would do. He was an unscrupulous person, and killing, cooperating, and stalking were all means. Uchiha Makoto on the cliff and left with Makoto and the Faceless. Orochimaru destroyed the valley, cleared the battle trail, and left. When Orochimaru returned to Konoha, the noise that had been caused by the movement in the back mountain had calmed down, and Orochimaru missed it. The next morning, the Hokage office. What did you do last night? Sarutobi Hiruzen stared into Orochimaru's eyes. Find a quiet place and practice. Orochimaru answered without any flaws. Last night, the tomb of White Fang was robbed. Sarutobi Hiruzen squinted slightly. He had not concealed his suspicion of Orochimaru. What do you think? Chapter 0874 Did you do it? Sarutobi Hiruzen suspects that Orochimaru is not a day or two. Orochimaru kills some unimportant people. Speaking of it, it's not a big deal. If Sarutobi Hiruzen is not Hokage, he may not care, but he is Hokage, the highest judge of Konoha, and he can't let this kind of thing go. Things happen. However, Sarutobi Hiruzen has been holding back. He is afraid of the truth, because Orochimaru is his most important disciple. But today, he couldn't take it anymore. Although White Fang died, he was buried in the Tomb of Heroes. All the heroes buried in the Tomb of Heroes are heroes who have made great contributions to Konoha. These people used to be the backbone of Konoha. Stealing the Tomb of Heroes is so bad that no one can tolerate it. White Fang tomb stolen. Orochimaru's face was icy cold, but there were waves in his eyes, and then these waves turned into a glimmer of light, and his hands trembled slightly, shaking very slightly. It was him. He stole White Fang's body. Is it him? What is he going to do? He wants to resurrect White Fang. He didn't steal the Tomb of Heroes, of course he knew it, and at the same time, he thought of a possibility. What a coincidence! Not long after Han Guang was resurrected, White Fang's body was stolen. Sarutobi Hiruzen saw the change in Orochimaru's eyes, and he was instantly furious. He regarded the change in Orochimaru's eyes as a kind of guilty reaction. Orochimaru, who has always been displeased with appearances, had only heard about the robbery of White Fang's tomb. There will be no reaction, he has a reaction, proving that this matter has something to do with him. Really? Yes. Yes. You. Sarutobi Hiruzen bit Kiba and stood up, questioning word by word, his eyes fixed on Orochimaru. Not me. Orochimaru regained his composure, very calm. It wasn't him. It's really a big injustice. Sarutobi Hiruzen held the edge of the table with his hands, the flesh on his face was shaking, his eyes were piercing at Orochimaru like a needle, and the room fell into an extremely terrifying silence. Sarutobi Hiruzen was like a lion about to go mad, and it seemed that he would violently hurt anyone at any time. Orochimaru was still very calm, and looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen with a clear conscience. For the first time in their lives, this pair of masters and apprentices was so pointed at the weak Mang, full of gunpowder flavor. What did you do last night? Sarutobi Hiruzen asked hoarsely, then gushed, answer me. I said it wasn't me, it wasn't me. Orochimaru replied coldly, he answered very cleverly, he didn't say what he did yesterday, because he couldn't say it, and if he lied, there would be a hole in his heart, and about White Fang tomb. It's really not him. Sarutobi Hiruzen clenched his fists. It's not him. A low voice suddenly sounded in the dim corner of the room. Sarutobi Hiruzen's face changed, and he turned to look at the thin figure who appeared in the corner at an unknown time, but he heard the thin figure say again, he is telling the truth. Sarutobi Hiruzen's expression loosened, then he sat down on the chair, raised his hand to Orochimaru, and said in a hoarse voice, go ahead. Orochimaru turned around and left. At the same time, the thin figure standing in the corner walked to the desk. When Orochimaru walked to the door, the thin figure also walked to the desk, turned to look at Orochimaru's back, and seemed to want to see through something. Glancing at the slender figure, he pushed open the door and walked out. Orochimaru knows who this man is. Root leader, Musashi. Musashi is very mysterious and has no other identity on the surface. It is said that he was raised by Anbu since childhood. Orochimaru has also heard that Musashi has the ability to read people's hearts, but he does not know whether it is true or false. After Orochimaru left, Sarutobi Hiruzen sat up straighter and tapped his fingers on the table. When he answered you that it wasn't him, his heart was bright, there was no dark fog in his heart, no flaws, it was really not him. Musashi with a mask said in a low voice, I'm afraid there is nothing in this matter. The inner conspiracy should be purely a provocation by the enemy country. Quote. White Fang's body is worthless. So Konoha doesn't know who else would do this except Orochimaru, a maniac who likes to experiment. Since it's not Orochimaru, there is only one explanation left. Destroy the Tomb of Heroes and punch Konoha in the face. But, Musashi groaned again. What? Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned. He's injured, although he covers it up well. Musashi continued, but I can still see that he has injuries, and it's not serious. The office fell silent. Keep an eye on him. Sarutobi Hiruzen said with a sullen face after thinking for a while, although the White Fang affair has nothing to do with him, he probably did something that no one else knew about last night, if those things were really his doing. Then he should have cleared my doubts about him by now, and there must be other actions in the near future. Quote. This subordinate understands, Musashi said. Makoto's small courtyard, the sun is just right in the morning. In the wooden house, Luhan is talking to the little black cat. Since Luhan came back last night and rescued the little black cat has become very docile. She knows everything about Luhan. She has lived in Konoha for 13 years, because it is a forbearance a beast, so she is still young, and she is very aware of the major events that happened in the 10 years that Luhan missed. A lot of things, even Uchiha Makoto doesn't know, because Makoto is too withdrawn, and the little black cat is different. After all, she is a cat, she will always run around in Konoha village, and even go to fight with other ninja beasts. It is natural to hear more. Makoto was cooking. It was breakfast, but because last night, Makoto only woke up in the morning. You said that Konoha had already made arrangements before the outbreak of this ninja war, and the deployment of troops was prepared a month in advance. That's it. The little black cat nodded. At that time, there were many small conflicts between countries, but they were very restrained and did not dare to carry out large-scale military mobilization. They were afraid to stimulate neighboring countries and lead to an escalation of the war, but we Konoha seemed to know in advance that the war would take place. Outbreak. Woo meow. The little black cat howled suddenly, all the hair exploded, and turned to look at the corner of the room. Luhan held her down without letting her transform, and turned to look. The Tomb of Heroes, did you do it? Orochimaru, who appeared in the corner at some point, stared at Luhan and asked. Chapter 0875-Unshakable in Righteousness. The insight map did not show that Yuhi's name was approaching, and Orochimaru's name was orange. Luhan knew that someone was secretly approaching here at a very fast speed, but he didn't take precautions. The little black cat was very frightened and struggled a little while being held by Luhan. Orochimaru who knocked it out and sealed it yesterday, and she didn't know what happened after that. When she woke up again, Luhan had returned to Konoha with Makoto. When Uchiha Makoto at the kitchen door heard Orochimaru's voice, she also stuck her head out, and immediately retracted her head, but she wasn't too worried, she was very at ease here with Luhan. Luhan stroked the little black cat's head, tilted his head and said, "Go out and talk." The two of them disappeared into the room at the same time. Not long after, somewhere in Konoha village, in the jungle, Orochimaru and Luhan appeared one after another. "You stole White Fang's body?" Orochimaru asked, a little impatient. "Yeah." Luhan didn't deny it, he knew what Orochimaru was thinking. "What do you want to do?" Orochimaru stared at Luhan with a frenzy in his eyes. "You want to revive him, right? Are you going to revive him?" "Yes." Luhan nodded and glanced at Orochimaru. "I can help you," Orochimaru said immediately, even taking a step forward, trying to pull Luhan's arm, but Luhan avoided him. "I have done a lot of experiments in this area, and now I have some eyebrows. I think I can help you, and the technique of impure world reincarnation, although I don't have a master yet, but I already know the principle. I will help you, how about it?" Quote. It's fake to help Luhan, and it's real to want to know how Luhan resurrects the dead. In fact, both of them are well aware of this. Orochimaru is testing Luhan's thoughts. "Besides, I still need to prepare, it may take a few months." Luhan said lightly, glanced at Orochimaru. "Actually, we don't need to go around like this. I know what you are thinking, resurrection is not as easy as you think. I spent 10 years, you help me, I will help you, understand?" "What do you want me to do?" Orochimaru squinted slightly, he hated the feeling of being threatened. "Information. I need information," Luhan said with a heavy voice, "in addition to the information about Tsunade I told you yesterday, as well as the major events and small matters of Konoha in the past 10 years, some things worthy of attention, you know, you can what you find useful, I need them all." "It's not a problem, I need some time to collect," Orochimaru said. "There are a few more questions, you can answer me now." About Tai Shuo. Since Hitachi Tai Shuo knows about White Zetsu, what is his attitude towards Sarutobi Hiruzen? "Loyalty," Orochimaru affirmed. "There's something going on here. It shouldn't be. I can't find it." "How many people know about the secret connection between Sarutobi Hiruzen and White Zetsu?" Luhan asked again. "You want to overthrow Sarutobi Hiruzen?" Orochimaru asked, eyes flashing. Luhan glanced at him and didn't answer. "If you really want to do this, I can tell you that it is very difficult. Even if you are Konoha Hangwang, you ruled Konoha for only 2 years, and Sarutobi Hiruzen has been in charge of Konoha for 30 years. Orochimaru said coldly, "You are the greatest ninja, and he is the greatest Hokage. Sarutobi Hiruzen has done a lot of sins in secret, but he is unshakable in righteousness. Those things, such as the decline of the Senju clan." "You know," Luhan interjected. "Tsunade said that she had a falling out with Sarutobi Hiruzen before she left, and I was there at the time." Orochimaru continued, "Speaking of this, it is Sarutobi Hiruzen's fault, even if he puts the blame on the dead Danzo. Anyone with a discerning eye can see clearly. But he only hurt the Senju family. After that, he pacified the First Ninja War. Right or wrong, how many points, you should understand, and that was more than 30 years ago. After all, even me, I don't have much impression of the powerful Senju clan, and thinking about it now, it's just a pity. The high-level people know about White Zetsu, and Konoha's high-ranking ninja. They all know a little bit, otherwise Sarutobi Hiruzen wouldn't be forced to helplessly deify you. Even if you make this public, you can't shake Sarutobi Hiruzen's status, because those who can really affect Sarutobi Hiruzen's status are those high-level ninjas who hold real power, but these people are loyal to Sarutobi Hiruzen, Kaharu Utatane, Homura, Mitokado, etc., are all die-hards. And those low-level ninjas, they listen to the wind and rain. As long as those high-level ninjas still support Sarutobi Hiruzen, and what the Konoha high-level executives say, they will listen to what you say. Even if you say the truth, it will spread to the ears of the low-level ninjas, is also a rumor." "You have a big brain," Luhan said lightly. "I didn't ask you that. I'm just telling the truth." Orochimaru replied coldly, "If you hadn't died back then, and now you're Hokage, Sarutobi Hiruzen's return wouldn't have shaken you. But you're dead, Sarutobi Hiruzen's return, and he's done it in Konoha in 10 years. In order to cleanse and make Konoha into an iron plate, I advise you to give up the plan to overthrow Sarutobi Hiruzen with rumors and the truth. Although Sarutobi Hiruzen is extremely hypocritical, everything he does is for Konoha to win the war and for Konoha's internal stability. Although some unscrupulous, in the hearts of those high-level ninjas in power, Sarutobi Hiruzen is an extremely good ruler." "Ha!" Lu Lang laughed. "If you really want to overthrow Sarutobi Hiruzen, I suggest you reveal your identity. Sarutobi Hiruzen can't move you at all, and he is already getting old. You can directly compete with him for the position of Hokage. In this case, your odds of winning are even greater. Of course, you can also assassinate him. If there is a chance, I can help you." "Change the topic," Luhan interrupted Orochimaru's eloquence. Luhan was still a little uncomfortable with Orochimaru, who talked a lot. "Ask someone, Uchiha Obito, do you know?" "I know." Orochimaru nodded. "Namikaze Minato's disciple, but he died in battle last year while on a mission." Chapter 0876 Chance to kill Madara. At present, Uchiha Obito can only be regarded as a small person. The reason why Orochimaru knows him is because Uchiha Obito is a disciple of Namikaze Minato. Namikaze Minato is too famous. "Died last year," Luhan muttered to himself. The Battle of Kanobi Bridge took place when Hatake Kakashi was just 12 years old and just became Jonin, and Hatake Kakashi was born in Konoha's 34th year, so the Battle of Kanobi Bridge took place in Konoha's 46th year. Obito didn't die, but was rescued by Madara. Now in February of the 47th year of Konoha, the Third Ninja War has come to an end, and the Ninja War will end in the second half of this year. Sarutobi Hiruzen will also abdicate to make a sage. Namikaze Minato will become the 4th generation Hokage, and then Namikaze Minato will get married. 1 year, in October of the 38th year of Konoha, Uzumaki Naruto will be born, Namikaze Minato will die, and 3 generations will be restored. In fact, if Luhan really wants to be Hokage, he only needs to wait for Sarutobi Hiruzen to abdicate and he will return to Konoha. Namikaze Minato will have to step aside. The title of 4th generation Hokage must belong to Han Guang, and Sarutobi Hiruzen can't stop it even if he wants to. However, Luhan doesn't care about this now. Matter whether it is the Ninja World War or the position of Hokage, Luhan is now thinking about killing Uchiha Madara. White Fang's son is also a disciple of Namikaze Minato. Luhan asked. Yes, it's called Hitaki Kakashi. Orochimaru nodded. Anbu has been investigating him secretly, and wants to absorb him into Anbu. Orochimaru was not surprised that Lu Hanning asked about Uchiha Obito and Hitaki Kakashi. Although it was not long before he was resurrected, he must have already investigated something happened. Namikaze Minato's disciple, who else? Luhan asked again. Namikaze Minato has a total of 3 disciples, Hitaki Kakashi, Uchiha Obito, and Nohara Rin. Orochimaru continued, Uchiha Obito has died in battle, and now Kakashi and Nohara Rin are left. They haven't performed tasks for the past 6 months. It is said that the death of Uchiha Obito caused they are in a precarious state. Quote. Yeah, Luhan nodded. Fortunately, Nohara Rin has not been captured by Kurigakure village. In the original novel, Nohara Rin was captured by Kurigakure village and forced to become a 3-tailed Jinchuriki, column force because of his special system, and then Uchiha Madara put a spell on her heart. After preventing her from committing suicide, Nohara Rin did not want to be controlled to attack Konoha, so he took the initiative to die at the hands of Hitaki Kakashi, and this scene was seen by Uchiha Obito, who had a crush on Rin. Everything is a conspiracy of Uchiha Madara. He relied on this conspiracy to lead Obito to the darkness, making Obito despair of the world, so Obito inherited the will of Uchiha Madara and became the new Uchiha Madara, continuing to execute the Moon Eye plan, while Uchiha Madara was in the process of connecting yin and yang escape with 6 paths. After teaching the technique to Uchiha Obito, he severed ties with Geto Mazo, demonic statue of the outer path, and died of exhaustion. That's right, Uchiha Madara is dying. Within a year, if Luhan doesn't kill him, he will die too. But Luhan still wanted to kill him. Let him explain the funeral clearly and die with peace of mind, it's too cheap for him. The ninja world is too big. Without accurate information, it would be impossible for Luhan to find Uchiha Madara. Rin Nohara was an opportunity for Luhan. At that time, Luhan can find Uchiha Obito, and through Uchiha Obito, Luhan can find Madara. Luhan and Orochimaru agreed on the time and place of the next meeting. They parted with Orochimaru in the woods. Luhan told Orochimaru that he lived in Makoto's house, hoping that Orochimaru would inform him in the event of an emergency, not hope Orochimaru finds himself when he has something to do. Orochimaru is also in trouble now. Luhan didn't want to be exposed because of Orochimaru's relationship. Ever since he knew that Sarutobi Hiruzen had a connection with White Zetsu, Luhan never wanted people to know about his resurrection, because once Sarutobi Hiruzen knew about it, Uchiha Madara would probably know it too. Will be even more difficult to find Uchiha Madara. Once Uchiha Madara knows that Hengwang is resurrected, Tsunade will also be in danger after the previous experience. In terms of the ability to find people, White Zetsu is a godlike existence. Luhan has made a decision to reveal his identity after killing Uchiha Madara. At Makoto's house, when Luhan came back, the table was full of delicious dishes, it was steaming hot, and the time was just right. Luhan, Makoto, and the little black cat were eating together. Makoto didn't know what happened between Luhan and Orochimaru, but he didn't ask anything. Although she was curious, whether it was 10 years ago or now, there is a huge gap between her and Luhan in terms of identity. She understands what to ask and what not to ask. After dinner, Makoto was washing dishes in the kitchen. The well-fed little black cat wanted to go out for a stroll, but Luhan brought him back when he walked to the door. I saved you, right? Luhan smiled genially. The little black cat rolled his eyes, took 2 steps back, and asked anxiously, what are you doing? I have a task for you, can you help me? Luhan said with a smile. What task? The little black cat was even more nervous. Do you know Nohara Rin? Yes, I know. Help me keep an eye on her and let me know if she ever leaves Konoha village or goes missing. Just This is it. Yes, that's it. Huh, it scared me to death. I thought you wanted me to do something. The little black cat looked relieved, and jumped off the table. I'm going, leave it to me and you can rest assured. Bar. Luhan frowned slightly as he watched the figure of the little black cat jumping out of the window. Very unreliable feeling. This little guy doesn't pay attention to it at all. Into the night. The dimly lit hut. Luhan and Uchiha Makoto had just finished dinner, and both of them drank some wine. Makoto asked for it, but Luhan did not object. With the strength of the wine, Makoto showed an extraordinary intimacy to Luhan. I still have something to do, Luhan said and got up. Ah, Uchiha Makoto, who put his hand on Luhan's shoulder, was suddenly sober, and Yuhi's fluttering face couldn't hide the disappointment. Come back tomorrow. Luhan smiled at Makoto and disappeared. It's really something. He's going to resurrect White Fang. Chapter 0877_not reincarnated. Resurrection of White Fang is a big project. Luhan told Orochimaru that it would take several months to prepare. In fact, he lied to Orochimaru. It would take several months, but it wasn't anything to prepare, but the process of resurrecting White Fang. It will take a few months. And the past few months are also the conclusions Luhan has drawn conservatively. Because he didn't know how strong White Fang was when he died. Late at night, the former residence of Cold Light. Basement. The basement of Luhan's house is not small. I am afraid it must be 300 square meters. It is 12 meters below the main building and is 5 meters high. It was originally used by Tsunade to hide money. Later, the money was transferred out. Empty. Coming to the basement, Luhan lit the candlestick, and then began to arrange an isolation formation in the middle of the basement. There are many formation techniques to isolate the breath, not all of them are sealing techniques. Many secret techniques also have this effect. They are basically formed in the form of curse marks. In the early years, when Luhan had not yet recovered Uzumaki, he could get it by killing and dropping it. All of the scrolls will be used up, including the isolation secret technique, and there are more than one. The best one is the B-level secret technique. Secret art, sealing art. Luhan hand-sealed. He pressed one hand on the ground, and 8 curse print chains extended from under his palm. These 8 black hand print chains extended close to the ground, and then extended forks. Connected, and finally formed a circle with a diameter of about 3 meters. With a flash of light, a transparent cover appeared within the circle, isolating the formation. Luhan waved his hand again. Rumbling _. Dark Yuhi-colored coffin fell heavily on the ground. It was White Fang's coffin. Luhan pushed open the coffin lid. In the coffin, in addition to some buried weapons, ghosts, gold, silver and other objects, there were also rotten beasts. The leather cushion, on the animal skin cushion, is a bone. The bones are not white, but blue-gray, and they are the bones of White Fang. Luhan stood beside the coffin and stared at White Fang's corpse motionlessly. After watching it for a long time, he let out a sigh. The main reason why Luhan decided to resurrect White Fang was to know the historical truth from White Fang's mouth. Now, Luhan has heard Orochimaru say many things, but Luhan still wants to resurrect him. After all, he has already decided. His right hand to block his right eye, Luhan stared left, and the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan began to spin wildly. Mangekyo I technique, tides of time and space. Retreat. Luhan's resurrection of White Fang are divided into 2 steps. The first step is to return White Fang's state to within 7 days after his suicide. The second step is to use the subversive termination ability to resurrection, depleting 10% of his strength, and White Fang resurrected. The second step is easy, as long as Luhan is willing to pay, it is not a problem. The first step is troublesome. Because Konoha died in 40 years, now it's Konoha 47 years, he's been dead for 7 years. It is undoubtedly a long process to bring White Fang back to the state he was in within 7 days of his death 7 years ago, because White Fang was too powerful during his lifetime. He was an extremely powerful life form. This power exists in his genes. It is more difficult to let White Fang go back in time than to let Tsunade go back to the past. What's more, going back 7 years. Lu Han's plan is to take a little time every day to use the tide of time and space to let White Fang go back to the past. He does this every day. Lu Han can let White Fang go back to the past much faster than the real time. To 7 years ago. Time flies. Lu Han stood motionless in front of the coffin, like a sculpture, only the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan was spinning. Half an hour later, when Lu Han chakra bottomed out, he stopped and began to rest. After another 15 minutes, Lu Han's chakra level was full. White Fang go back to the past with the tide of time and space again. In this way, 8 hours have passed, and it is almost 4 o'clock in the middle of the night, and the sky outside should be almost bright. Lu Han ended today's resurrection operation, closed the coffin, and took the space backpack. White Fang is really too powerful. It took him 8 hours to get him back to 16 days ago. In this way, it would take me about 5 or 6 months. That's about half a year, to get him back to where he was just now. The state of death. Quote. ... On a new day, Lu Han went back to have breakfast with Makoto, and then started to wander around the village of Konoha. Just hang out. The matter of gathering intelligence has been handed over to Orochimaru. Orochimaru can freely enter and exit Anbu, and has a very high authority to check the intelligence. Moreover, he is Tsunade's close friend. He can tell Anbu clearly and ask Tsunade's whereabouts information, but no one can say a word. No word. There is no need for Lu Han to worry about this aspect, and Lu Han has a lot of leisure time. Throughout the day, Lu Han looked around in Konoha village, went to Konoha Hospital, Ninja School, Konoha Military Headquarters, Mission Hall and other places, and observed some worthwhile observations. People to focus on. It's been a day like this. After dinner, Lu Han came to the basement of Han Guang's former residence again and took out White Fang's corpse. Late at night, Lu Han put away the White Fang coffin, turned off the lights in the basement, walked to the corner and sat down against the wall, and began to wait. Today is the 7th night after his resurrection, and he will be able to enter the subversive space again. 0 in the morning. Lu Han's body flickered illusorily. ... In the silver-gray space, the suspended light ball cracked open. Lu Han walked out from the inside, turned around and said, "Ingot exchange item, reincarnated without a corpse." The ball of light immediately shone into a box in front of Lu Han, and inside the box were 2 people transforming their soul patterns. This is the forbidden technique, reincarnation, that Orochimaru cultivated after many years of research in the original book. Of course, there is a price here as an exchange. The price is 1200 ingots. Really cheap. This is the technique of immortality. It can be said that it is one of the forbidden techniques that is closest to the profound meaning of life and death. Although the way of immortality is too far-fetched, immortality is immortality. For ninjas who are eager to have eternal life, no matter how much they pay, as long as they can live forever, it is worth it. Lu Han was very indifferent to this technique, but he still planned to exchange this technique, which he had thought about 2 days ago. This technique will become a bargaining chip for him to coerce and even conquer Orochimaru. Chapter 0878_Psychic Beast. The side effects of turning without a corpse are very large, and there are many disadvantages. First of all, the reincarnated person is stronger than the person who is the container. Of course, this is a small problem. The interval between each reincarnation should not be less than 3 years, which is not a big problem. The really serious problem is that after reincarnating with a new body, there will be a problem of body fit. Master slowly over time. Generally speaking, it will take at least 7 or 8 years for the fit to be high, and even so, it will be difficult for the reincarnated person to exert his full strength before. In addition, there are serious defects. First, the reincarnated person will be in a state of mental weakness before and after reincarnation, which is very dangerous. Second, there may be exclusion. If the selected container is not suitable, not only there will be no so-called degree of fit, but there will be rejection, which is life-threatening. Because the interval between reincarnations is at least 3 years. If within 3 years after reincarnation, the rejection is too strong, that person will be abolished, and the extreme case is death. Forbidden technique is not reincarnated, the price is not too high. However, none of this mattered to Lu Han. He didn't know how to use this technique either. He gave it to Orochimaru. In the original book, Orochimaru could study this technique, which means that his research direction is like this. Lu Han taught this technique to Orochimaru. Even if there are many shortcomings in this technique, Orochimaru will definitely be satisfied. For those who are obsessed with wanting eternal life, those shortcomings are really nothing. The exchange is not reincarnated. Lu Han made a decision without thinking too much, because he had already thought about it. Exchange completed, said the subversive messenger. Forbidden technique scroll, from the space backpack, opened it and used it. A strange feeling suddenly enveloped Lu Han's body, and some memories entered Lu Han's mind. The technique of reincarnation without corpse does not mean that it can be used immediately after hand seal. The reincarnation process is relatively complicated. The memorabilia that Lu Han obtained was a detailed explanation of the specific steps and methods of reincarnation. Lu Han checked his ingots again, and there were less than 200 left. Before he entered the subversive space today, he had more than 1,300 ingots. Some of these ingots were saved 10 years ago, and some were obtained in the Snake Cave Valley that night. Most of those snakes are ninja beasts, but only a few were judged as bosses. Although many of them also showed their level was elite level, and their level was very low, so although Lu Han killed a lot of snakes, his level was too high. Gao, there are not many ingots obtained. Get more as a psychic badge. The number of psychic badges that Lu Han has obtained in history is far lower than that of ingots. According to the rules, the explosion rate of psychic badges is much higher than that of ingots. At present, Lu Han has more than 1,800 psychic badges. Check the psychic exchange items. Lu Han said. The light flickered, forming a huge light curtain. There were small squares in the light curtain. Each square was a psychic exchange. There were 2 types, puppets and psychic beasts. Comparatively speaking, the price of a puppet is higher than that of a psychic beast, because the puppet master is immortal. After being crushed, it will enter a cooling period, and then it can be psyched again, and the psychic beast will die when it dies. However, what Lu Han wants to exchange this time is a psychic beast. He is of great use. At present, the psychic beasts that Lu Han has unlocked are infinitely growing juvenile ninja beasts worth more than 2,300 yuan, and they need to be cultivated. Lu Han doesn't have time to cultivate juveniles. What he needs is a mature body, strong enough, and extremely intelligent. Ultra-elite level mature psychic beasts can be exchanged for only 300 ingots. If Lu Han wants to, he can exchange 6 at a time to form a small ninja group. After all, the fighting power of this psychic beast group will not lose to the 7 people of the Mist Ninja Sword during World War II. However, even the 7 members of the Mist Ninja Blade during World War II were vulnerable in front of Lu Han. It is difficult for a mature ninja beast to grow further, and it will die. Lu Han doesn't want to use the exchanged psychic beast as cannon fodder. There are too many, thousands of psychic exchange items, and Lu Han is a little confused. The price is higher than 300 ingots, mature body, high intelligence, small body, can fly. Check out the psychic beasts that meet these conditions. Lu Han pinched his eyebrows. The light flashed. No. The light curtain was retracted, but it did not pop up again. Remind the subversive 3665 that there is no psychic beast that meets the conditions you said. The subversive messenger said. No, Lu Han was taken aback. Yes, no, there are very few flying ninja beasts. Most of the small flying ninja beasts are not strong, and the price is less than 300 yuan. In this case, then remove the flight conditions. Lu Han said. Whoa. The light curtain is reproduced, and the area is not very large. There are about 100 grids on it, which are all eligible psychic exchange items. Ninja Psychic. 60 level medium high intelligence and agility ninja. Green Shadow, 1670 badges required. Beast with the highest price that meets the conditions. Its strength is comparable to that of a level 60 white silver boss. It seems to be as ugly as it is going to be, and the name Bai Xiaoluing is now. Luhan had a headache when he saw it. Why was it different from what he thought? However, Luhan did not immediately reject the Green Shadow, but looked at the detailed explanation of the Green Shadow's ability. This is a ninja beast of Grandmaster Futon, Wind Style Ninjutsu. The body is indestructible, a pair of sickles is enough to easily tear the steel. Reacting consciousness pervert, but it also has weaknesses, that is, its physical defense is very strong, but in the face of ninjutsu attacks, its defense is much worse. Luhan needs the psychic beast to let the psychic beast follow Yi Yuanren. He doesn't believe in the little black cat, and the psychic puppet is either not smart enough or can't keep away from Luhan and is not competent for this task, so he can only exchange psychic ninja. This mantis named Lu Ying, an agile ninja, barely met Luhan's requirements, just barely. Chapter 0879_Shadow Cat. Luhan still rejected the Green Shadow, because this guy only has agility ability, but he has no hidden tracking ability, and Luhan is very suspicious of the wisdom of the mantis. Even if it is defined as high intelligence. Add 2 more conditions. First, be good at stealth tracking, and second, be good at escaping. Luhan thought for a while and said. The light flashed again. This time there were only 12 options left for Luhan. Ninja Beast Psychic. Level 60 Medium High Wisdom Doden, Earth Style, Ninja Beast. Flower Rock Snake, 1550 badges required. This is the 12 highest value psychic beasts, 11 azure gray snakes. The detailed introduction states that this snake, Grandmaster Doden, Earth Style, Ninjutsu, has the ability to burrow into the ground, moderate speed, and strong defensive ability. Will run away. Meet the conditions, but Luhan continued to look down. These 12 meet the conditions, and he is not in a hurry to decide. Luhan looked at it very seriously. He would read every detailed explanation of the psychic beast carefully. 5 minutes later. Luhan suddenly froze. He just saw the 6th one, this psychic beast, very special. Ninja Psychic. 50 level high intelligence alien ninja. Shadow Cat requires 1380 badges. The strength of this psychic beast does not exceed cage level. It's just the level of the top super elite, but the price is as high as 1380 psychic badges. Luhan immediately looked down at the detailed introduction of this so-called alien ninja beast. A magical creature that escaped from the spiritual world, perceives the power of space and time, walks in the darkness like a ghost, shadowless and invisible. When it screams, the world will fall into a borderless fantasy. This is a very informal elaboration. Luhan's eyes lit up, and he asked eagerly, this shadow cat, can it know time and space ninjutsu, right? That's not ninjutsu, but an innate ability. The subversive messenger responded, the shadow cat itself does not have very strong fighting ability, but it has the ability of time and space, similar to ninjutsu, and at the same time, it also has the Grandmaster demonic illusion. And the art of transformation, and, as a psychic beast with the ability of master time and space, it can reverse the psychic contractor without the need for a hand seal. Quote. Reverse channeling. Ninja Psychic summons the ninja who signed a contract with it, which is called reverse psychic. This is the ability that exists in the original book, but not all ninja beasts can. In the original book, only a certain big toad from Mount Myoboku can reverse the psychic ninja. Others, because there is no relevant plot in the original book, it is impossible to judge, and those ninja beasts able to reverse psychic. That's it. Exchange it. Luhan stuttered in excitement. The 1380 psychic badges have been deducted, the ninja beast is being generated. The subversion messenger made a mechanized sound, and then the ball of light brightened, emitting a dazzling light. After more than 10 seconds, the light began to weaken, and finally returned to normal. Ninja beasts are alive and cannot directly appear in the space backpack, where living creatures are not allowed. The ball of light suddenly split open, forming a dark passage. A furry little guy jumped out of the passage, looking left and right as if he was looking for something. When he saw Luhan, his eyes suddenly lit up, he let out a meow, and disappeared in place. He appeared on Luhan's shoulder in an instant, grabbed Luhan's hair with a pair of small claws, and kept meowing. Luhan grabbed the little guy in his hand with a strange expression on his face. Is this the fucking shadow cat? The kitten is only the size of a woman's palm, and it looks a little smaller than Uchiha Makoto's little black cat. The hair is shiny purple, thin and small, and it looks like a small milk cat. Meow, meow meow. Shadow cat shook his head and called. Can you speak? Luhan asked. Talking tired. Shadow cat made a crisp sound, followed by meowing. Is it okay to speak human words? No, meow meow. You will demonic illusion. Meow. Space-time capability. Meow. Meow your sister. What does meow mean? Your sister. My day. Luhan's face trembled, he wanted to return it. What kind of broken cat, disobedient, will talk back, and learn to scold others? It looks less reliable than the little black cat. The shadow cat is very close to its owner, but it likes to play, has a strong sense of territory, and is extremely intelligent. According to humans, its intelligence will be defined as a super genius. The subversion messenger explained. What about mission capabilities? The shadow cat will strictly implement the mission instructions given by the owner, even if it doesn't agree with its mouth, there will be no problem in its actions. Ah, Tsunere. That's understandable. Luhan blinked at the ball of light, and then looked down at the shadow cat that was rolling on his hands. He couldn't help but raised his hand and flicked its little head. You say no, your body is very honest. Meow. Shadow cat seemed to be angry, turning over and staring at Luhan. ... The vast forest stretches as far as the eye can see, the wind is blowing, bringing bursts of strong bloody aura, the sun hangs high in the sky, flooding the world with light, noon is the hottest time. Luhan stood on the towering giant tree 200 meters high for a moment, facing the poisonous sunlight, sweating profusely. A kilometer away is the battlefield. The towering trees were destroyed into pieces, there were firelights everywhere, and thick smoke filled the air. The forest had turned into ruins, and above the ruins were thousands of corpses, people who were cut into two sections. The ninja whose head was beheaded was still alive, and was crushed under the collapsed giant tree. Half of his body had been crushed, and he was howling shrilly. Blood, blood. There is blood everywhere. The eyes are devastated, the corpses are everywhere, and the blood flows into rivers, like a purgatory on earth. The tail beast is roaring. 1 tail, 2 tails, 3 tails, 8 tails, EPUB 9 tails. All tailed beasts are on the battlefield, they are slaughtering the remaining ninjas. More and more ninjas come and join the battlefield, but they cannot turn the situation around. Still being slaughtered. Gedo Mazo, demonic statue of the outer path, suddenly descended on the battlefield, absorbed all the tailed beasts, roared up to the sky, and turned into 10 tails. The earth was shaking, the smoke and dust rolled over the sky, and the 10 tails rushed towards Luhan with a terrifying aura that made people tremble from the heart. Luhan looked at it with a dull expression, and his eyes gradually widened. This is... Suddenly, a flash of lightning flashed across Luhan's mind. Mingwu. This is a fantasy. Chapter 0880_Hostile Camp. When Luhan recognized what he saw as an illusion, 10 tails, who was about to strike Luhan with a fatal blow, suddenly stopped in front of Luhan. At the same moment, the whole world stopped. The sun lost its temperature and the wind stopped. The leaves blowing and drifting away in the wind froze in the air. On the distant battlefield, the morning ninja remained motionless as he raised his head and screamed, and the burning flame solidified into a translucent sculpture. A huge cat has appeared. Purple cat. Shadow cat. High as several thousand meters, it is no longer a word to describe the behemoth. It is unimaginable that the 10 tails is in front of it, like a baby. The giant shadow cat stepped on the catwalk and walked to Lu Han, raised its huge paws, and smashed the stationary 10 tails into pieces. Then its big head approached Lu Han, and let out a meow. Rumbling _ The fantasy world collapsed. ... Silver gray world, subversive space. Lu Han held the shadow cat in both hands, and his eyes became clear. The shadow cat meowed and began to roll on Lu Han's palm again, as if it wasn't what it did just now. Sigh. Lu Han sighed, as if he was regretting something, then raised his head and asked, "Is the shadow cat fighting?" "Anti-fighting." The subversive messenger gave a positive answer. "Wow." The shadow cat howled, jumped out, and started to escape. "Don't run. Stop. It's the opposite of you. Dare to cast demonic illusion on me, I'll beat you to death." Lu Han Zhongqiba danced and chased after the shadow cat. The shadow cat was getting faster and faster, Lu Han's speed also getting faster. The shadow cat finally began to move instantly, flickering and disappearing frequently. Lu Han was chasing it only based on speed, because the space area of the subversive was very limited, which was equivalent to the size of a warehouse. The shadow cat could not run out, and could only circle in it. In the silver-gray space, there are shadows of Lu Han's shadow cat everywhere. Lu Han shot again and again, and every time he almost caught the shadow cat, but almost every time. After all, the shadow cat is in a flash. It is the ability of time and space. Although there will be a pause after each instant, it is also beyond the speed. Fortunately, the space here is limited. If he is outside, Lu Han will be even more difficult to catch it. Lu Han finally used his telekinesis ability to accelerate, and only once, caught the shadow cat into his hand. The shadow cat was like a loach. It twisted and slid out of Lu Han's hand. Lu Han blinked again and grabbed it again. This time, it didn't let it escape. Lu Han used both hands to hold it down. "Beat it up." "Meow." The shadow cat called softly, looking at Lu Han with pitiful eyes, shaking its tail. Lu Han was a little soft-hearted, and he really couldn't handle this small animal. "Let you make a fool of yourself." Lu Han flicked its little head. "Ah!" The shadow cat suddenly tilted its head, sticking out its tongue as if it was dying. "This guy actually pretends to be dead." Lu Han laughed angrily at it, and flicked its head again. ... A new day at Makoto's house. The morning sun was very mild, and it poured into the hall through the window, leaving a bright yellow, purple-haired little milk cat crawling on the round table, looking lazily, curled up and closed its eyes, as if it was sleeping, but its tail still lingered, shaking left and right subconsciously. "It's so beautiful. Is it really a ninja? It looks so small. Don't underestimate it. Oh yes, don't provoke it, it's very naughty. Where did you come from? Don't lie to me. I picked it up on the street, and I don't know who lost it. HMPH, I don't believe it." There were voices of men and women talking from the kitchen. Lu Han was cooking breakfast with Makoto. Makoto was still on vacation. This was the last day. Tomorrow she had to work in the police department. Can't do it unless she leaves Konoha. Makoto is enjoying the quiet time now. She also knew that there were not many days like this, because Lu Han would eventually leave and go to find Tsunade. Lu Han was washing the vegetables. Makoto stood beside him beating eggs, and looked very unhappy. How could this ninja beast be picked up casually? It's so cute, hum. You were deceived by it. In fact, it is not cute at all. Remember, don't provoke it. Lu Han said very cautiously. Cat, I understand. Makoto looked like I knew everything. Hey, Lu Han smiled, his expression suddenly condensed, and his hands that were washing vegetables stopped. Then, he slowly stood up and wiped his hands with the towel beside him. What's wrong? Makoto noticed something was wrong with Lu Han. I have something to do, go out first. Lu Han said. In a hurry, dinner will be ready soon. It's urgent, you don't have to wait for me to eat. After Lu Han finished speaking, he disappeared. Just now, the insight map showed that a big Yuhi name appeared 3 kilometers to the south. Normally, Konoha shouldn't have the Yuhi name against Luhan, because Han Guang is dead, and now Konoha except Makoto and Orochimaru. No one else knows about Luhan's resurrection, because no one else knows, even if he used to be hostile to Luhan. Those who have hatred for Luhan will not regard the dead Luhan as an enemy. Konoha shouldn't have the name Yuhi, and the big Yuhi name that just appeared out of nowhere is not the ninja of Konoha. There is another rule for judging the name of Yuhi, an enemy or an enemy. It's about hatred and hostile forces. For example, in a war between the two countries, because of the fact that they belong to different factions, the ninjas of the faction that are hostile to Luhan will be judged as Yuhi. Luhan, but was still judged as Yuhi. Yuhi name that just appeared is from Luhan's hostile camp. At present, there are only a few people who will be judged as Luhan's enemy camp by the rules. They have a deep hatred with Luhan, because Luhan subjectively identifies them as enemies, so even if the other party does not know Luhan's resurrection, they will be judged as enemy. Big Yuhi name, White Zetsu. After leaving Makoto's house, Luhan sneaked and moved, quickly approaching the Hokage building. White Zetsu flashed for a moment, then disappeared, and Luhan couldn't follow him, but it is speculated that he came to Konoha to find Sarutobi Hiruzen. Chapter 0881_Don't Come to Me Again. Luhan has entered a hidden state. His figure is like a ghost, and he shuttles between the back streets and dark alleys at a very fast speed. With Luhan's strength and speed, he can walk around Konoha village at will without the need for hidden techniques. Where to go? After all, there is an insight map, and he is all too familiar with the distribution of buildings in Konoha village. But this time is different, this guy White Zetsu. Still have to be careful, if he finds out, it will be bad. Luhan rushed to the vicinity of the Hokage building, appeared on a wooden tower not far from the Hokage building, hid in the dark, and observed the Hokage building. Luhan wasn't sure if Sarutobi Hiruzen was in the Hokage building, but usually he was there at this time, so he wouldn't be so bad, but he wasn't there today. The insight map covers the largest area. Within 10 kilometers, tens of thousands of orange dots are moving. Luhan stared. The big Yuhi point suddenly appeared in the Hokage building, stopped for less than 3 seconds, and then disappeared. Luhan frowned. What can he do in 3 seconds? Could it be that White Zetsu threw the information scroll to Sarutobi Hiruzen and left immediately? The Hokage building is a surface building, and the Hokage office is monitoring the scope of the insight map, so White Zetsu disappeared on the insight map. He must have left the Hokage building and went back underground. Luhan didn't want to chase after him, he just wanted to hear what White Zetsu and Sarutobi Hiruzen had to say, and then followed White Zetsu to see where he went. Under the premise of not revealing his identity, if possible, Luhan would always follow White Zetsu. It would be great if Uchiha Madara could be found directly through White Zetsu. Luhan's only concern is Uchiha Madara. Madara knew his weakness, and that was Tsunade. And Luhan hasn't found Tsunade yet. Therefore, only by killing Uchiha Madara can Luhan reveal his identity, otherwise not only will it become difficult to kill him, but Tsunade will also be in danger. Damn, the Mayfly technique, I should exchange this technique. Luhan muttered, the Mayfly technique is very powerful. Although it is only a secret escape ability, it is very useful in many cases. However, as an auxiliary forbidden technique, the price of this technique is higher than that of the attacking forbidden technique. If Luhan has this technique, he can sneak into the ground, and relying on the insight map, it will be much easier to track and kill White Zetsu. Luhan waited for a few more minutes, and White Zetsu seemed to be gone and did not appear again. Luhan also lost his patience. He planned to approach the Hokage building to investigate at a close distance. At this moment, a figure appeared on the roof of the Hokage building. Wearing a robe with Hokage written on it, and a hat on his head. It's Sarutobi Hiruzen. Sarutobi Hiruzen stood on the top of the building with his hands behind his back and looked around. as if he was looking at the scenery of Konoha village, then turned back to look in the direction of Hokage Rock, then jumped up and jumped into the distance from the top of the Hokage building. On the roof of another building 100 meters away, jump again. Jump again. Sarutobi Hiruzen is moving in the direction of Hokage Rock. To be precise, he was moving towards the forest behind Konoha village. No guards. Hokage has guards, mostly Anbu ninjas. When Luhan was in charge of Konoha, most of the time, as long as he was in the village, Anbu ninjas would follow him secretly. Resisting attacks, fighting with life, on the other hand, is used to pass Hokage orders. Example, when Hokage was wandering in the village and suddenly found something unusual, he couldn't let Hokage run around to notify people himself. He only needed to tell the guards around him, and they would do it. Sarutobi Hiruzen went to the back mountain, walking upright and without cover, but he did not bring guards, but it was a bit strange. No Anbu ninja followed him secretly, apparently he had given an order in advance not to follow. Luhan thought for a while, then disappeared on the tower and followed Sarutobi Hiruzen. Be careful and be careful. Sarutobi Hiruzen's anti-reconnaissance ability is very strong. Although Sarutobi Hiruzen's vigilance is not high in Konoha village, his strength is there after all. If he detects that someone is stalking, he is afraid that he will lead the stalker directly into the trap. 10 minutes later, Konoha village is behind the mountain forest. Sarutobi Hiruzen kept jumping on the tree and headed southeast. He didn't seem to be in a hurry. This behavior is very strange. Sarutobi Hiruzen, who was a Hokage during the war, still had the intention to come to the back mountain to see the scenery. Sadly, no Konoha ninja saw this. Since Sarutobi Hiruzen entered the back mountain, he has completely escaped the sight of all Konoha ninjas. No one knows what he is doing in the back mountain. Except Luhan. Luhan kept a distance of 3 kilometers from Sarutobi Hiruzen, relying on the insight map to track him. Although he is an orange name and is an orange point on the insight map, he is the only orange point in post, Yamanaka, so Luhan will naturally not be wrong. So, another 10 minutes passed. Sarutobi Hiruzen has reached the darkest area in the back mountain forest. The trees here are all over 100 meters high, with huge crowns, wide and dense leaves, very weak light in the forest, and vines growing. If you only look with your eyes, in this forest in the middle, you can see at most 20 to 30 meters away, and further away, the sight is blocked by trees, leaves, branches, vines, etc. The insight map shows Sarutobi Hiruzen stopped, motionless. Luhan didn't go there rashly, because there was only Sarutobi Hiruzen, and he looked at it in vain. Luhan was expecting that Yuhi name to appear. The dark jungle, Sarutobi Hiruzen stood on the bluestone with his hands behind his back, expressionless, waiting quietly. After another minute, a voice suddenly sounded from the bushes behind. Sarutobi Hiruzen turned around suddenly, only to see a white figure growing out of the bushes. I said, "Don't come to me again." Sarutobi Hiruzen reprimanded fiercely, "The wrong information you provided killed our 200 ninjas. What else do you want to say?" It's so angry. White Zetsu's mouth curled into an arc, and said coldly, "I have provided you with hundreds of important pieces of information, and it is inevitable that one or two are wrong. After all, information is time-sensitive." Sarutobi Hiruzen took a deep breath and suppressed the anger in his heart. In fact, he didn't really want to cut ties with White Zetsu. Just because of the misinformation that Konoha was dead, he had to take an attitude. Chapter 0882_track. Makoto's house. Breakfast was ready, and Makoto sat at the table, looking at the table full of dishes, looking like he had no appetite. When Luhan was not here, she didn't even want to eat breakfast. If it wasn't for Luhan's coming back, she wouldn't have done so much at all. Shadowcat crawled on the table, wagging its tail and closing its eyes. Pat. The downward opening window swayed suddenly, and the little black cat jumped into the room, sniffing the smell of the food in the room, and his eyes lit up. Luhan gave her the task of following Nohara Rin, but it doesn't need to follow Nohara Rin all the time. Nohara Rin may have to eat, sleep, and practice, so the little black cat has time to come back to eat. It's so fragrant. Ah, the little black cat just jumped on the wooden chair, and suddenly saw the shadow cat, showing a stunned look. The shadow cat seemed to sense something, opened his eyes slightly, glanced at the little black cat, and then closed his eyes again, ignoring it. Meow. The little black cat howled suddenly, all the hair on his body exploded, and yelled angrily, "Who are you? Where did you come from? Get out!" Surprised Uchiha Makoto. Makoto, who was looking down and thinking about something, raised his head suddenly, and then he said, "Oops. She has raised a little black cat for many years, and she knows very well what kind of temper a little black cat has. To put it simply, this guy has a very strong sense of territory." Before, a ninja dog came to the house to send an emergency order to Makoto, and the little black cat beat the ninja dog half to death and drove it out indiscriminately. Makoto had considered raising other small animals before. After all, it was too lonely, but was stopped by the little black cat. Any other ninjas who come to Makoto's house and are seen by the little black cat will be beaten out. "Well, don't make trouble, it's cold." Makoto hurriedly stood up, trying to explain. "Woo meow." Before Makoto could finish speaking, the little black cat howled and rushed towards the table fiercely, with sharp claws, grabbing at the shadow cat. Snapped. The little black cat landed on the table, and the shadow cat disappeared out of thin air. Looking for the smell, the little black cat turned around suddenly. The shadow cat has already appeared on the windowsill, still in that lazy look, curled up. Seeing the little black cat looking over, it squinted and gave a very contemptuous look. "Get out." The little black cat howled and pounced on the shadow cat again. The mountain forest. The insight map shows that White Zetsu has appeared. Luhan, who was in a hidden state, approached quickly while maintaining a high level of vigilance. Eternal Mangekyo had already turned on the rotation. He was afraid that there were any traps or hidden alarms nearby, so he had to be careful. Sarutobi Hiruzen and White Zetsu are not as strong as Luhan. And their vigilance is not high today. Over the years, they have met here hundreds of times, and there has never been an accident. Luhan managed to get close, hiding in the bushes, and the voice of Sarutobi Hiruzen talking to White Zetsu could be heard faintly. "As long as you mobilize your troops to the western border, you can stop this sneak attack in Iwagakure village. You don't need much, 1,000 people are enough. The number of the Special Operations Force in Iwagakure village is only 300. White Zetsu. The sound of. "Oh, this kind of information is very short-lived, and Iwagakure may change plans at any time, and even. This may be the trap of Iwagakure village. You don't believe me? The previous information was wrong twice in a row, how can you make me believe you? You should know that we have common interests. We plan to start a war. You use this war to clear the ninja world and give Konoha a long-term peace. And we are nothing more than making some money through war. You should know that if this happens again, go down, Konoha is going to lose. Don't you want to win? Nice to say. The common good. Of course I want to win, and Konoha has to win this war. But do you really want this war to end? Konoha is defeated, the war will end immediately. Of course I don't want to, I need you to win the war." Sarutobi Hiruzen had a fierce quarrel with White Zetsu. Apparently Sarutobi Hiruzen no longer trusts White Zetsu, and White Zetsu is still coming over to send information to Sarutobi Hiruzen. "Stupid," Luhan commented on Sarutobi Hiruzen. Sarutobi Hiruzen obviously has a brain problem, otherwise how could he believe White Zetsu? From the conversation between the two, Luhan also heard some things. For example, Sarutobi Hiruzen and White Zetsu planned and launched this ninja war, and the reason Sarutobi Hiruzen did this was to clear the ninja world, which meant that the surrounding the country is completely subdued, so that Konoha can be stable for decades. The logic is correct. If Luhan was replaced, he might do the same, otherwise the 1010 local wars and 1010 skirmishes would be more troublesome. But even if Lu Han really did this, he would never cooperate with White Zetsu. Because Lu Han knew about the Moon Eye plan, but Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't. The meeting between Sarutobi Hiruzen and White Zetsu ended up being unhappy. Sarutobi Hiruzen got the information provided by White Zetsu, but whether he would believe it or make arrangements based on the information provided by this information is unknown. It depends on what Sarutobi Hiruzen thinks. Lu Han didn't care about Sarutobi Hiruzen, he could think what he wanted, and he was too lazy to pay attention. Lu Han was trying to track White Zetsu, which was a very complicated process, because White Zetsu always fled away. However, it is not impossible. Because White Zetsu only sneaks into the depths of the ground when he is vigilant, such as when he was in Konoha village, he needs to hide his tracks. But if he is on his way normally, he does not need to do so, and there is no one else around. Using the mayfly technique to move the vegetation on the surface quickly is the most labor-saving and fastest way to travel. It's like, Lu Han doesn't need Hiraishin when he is on the road normally, just running at the speed is enough. On the Insight map, the big Yuhi dot representing White Zetsu flickers and moves. Every time it flickers, White Zetsu pulls 100 meters away. Lu Han kept a distance of 2 kilometers from him and followed him all the way. Just a few minutes, the two left the Konoha back mountain forest one after another and left the Konoha village directly. White Zetsu led the way, in front, and the two kept their distance and headed north of the Fire Country. Chapter 0883_Crazy Ninja. In the noisy morning, there was a sudden roar in the direction of the Uchiha gathering place in Konoha village, and the smoke and dust rose into the sky. Makoto's courtyard is in ruins. The little black cat has turned into a terrifying beast like a giant tiger and leopard. His eyes are full of chaotic colors, and he is attacking everything around him frantically. Makoto lives alone, and outside the courtyard is a tree except for a tree. After the violent big black cat destroyed all the buildings in the small courtyard violently, his mouth highlighted futon wind-style ninjutsu. The terrifying hurricane tore apart the 100-meter-wide woods, and Yue even knocked down the tall fence on the other side of the woods, which belonged to the main compound of the main residence of the Uchiha tribe. No, stop, what's wrong with you? Don't do this. Makoto spun around in a hurry, yelling anxiously, trying to make the black cat obey. She was about to cry, she didn't know the black cat she had raised for many years what happened to the ninja. Not long ago, the little black cat came home, saw the purple cat, felt that the territory was violated, and began to chase. The purple kitten has been hiding. But somehow, the little black cat went mad. Makoto doesn't know how to solve it. Although she is Jonin, her strength is less than that of the black cat, and she is reluctant to shoot at the black cat. It is like her family. The shadow cat is afraid of standing on the Jinchuriki column of the ruins of the wooden house, curling up, looking like it has nothing to do with it hanging up high, ignoring anyone, and thinking about licking its paws. Call, 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 call. The whirlwind rolled up, and dozens of figures appeared in the courtyard that had been reduced to ruins. They were all Uchiha ninjas, Uchiha Internal Affairs ninjas. Seems like a no-nonsense guy. This person's name is Uchiha Shing, and he is the squad leader of the Uchiha Internal Affairs Force. Internal Affairs troops have great power, and the ninjas in the Master Clan have the power to kill and kill. Although Uchiha Shing is only a team leader, he is already equivalent to a high-level figure of the Uchiha clan, second only to the existence of the elders. What's going on? Uchiha asked Uchiha Makoto with a cold look. Okay, Lord Shing, I don't know. Makoto was nervous, tears welling in his eyes. She suddenly. You don't know. Uchiha shouted sharply, you don't know about your psychic beast. I really. Needless to say. What else did Makoto want to say? Uchiha had already turned around, looked at the black cat who was doing damage in the woods, took out the dagger and swung it, and said coldly, kill it. It's not that the ninja beasts have gone mad before, just like people can go mad, usually because of diseases, and generally when this happens, they try to control the ninja beasts, and then find the cause and cure. This direct killing method is too extreme and rarely happens. After all, high-level intelligent ninjas are rare. Under Uchiha's order, more than a dozen ninjas from Uchiha's internal force all rushed towards the mad black cat. Don't hurt her. Uchiha Makoto screamed, ran over like a fly, stopped in front of the woods, opened his arms and shook his head constantly, begging, don't hurt her, just wait. The dozen or so internal ninjas all stopped and looked at Uchiha line hesitantly. The killing order is too extreme in their opinion, and Uchiha Makoto is also a captain-level figure after all, and has an excellent relationship with the patriarch's wife, so it is not something they can offend. At the same time, more and more ninjas rushed to the scene. All of them heard the movement here to see the situation, but they were not too close. They were all on the periphery, because this is the territory of the Uchiha clan, and all Uchiha the clan ninjas are all named in the police department, and the crazy ninja is also of the Uchiha clan, so it is natural that outsiders can't take action. Kill the mad ninja, kill, Uchiha shouted with a black face, and gave Makoto a cold look. Yes. A dozen Uchiha ninjas took the lead, all bypassing Uchiha Makoto and rushing towards the crazy black cat ninja beast in the woods. No, you can't do this. Makoto couldn't stop so many people, and cried out in a hurry. Sigh. The black cat with a full floor height made a strange cry, staring at Pan Yuhi's eyes. She noticed the dozen or so ninjas rushing towards her, and after howling, they waved fiercely claws while blowing hurricanes. The gust of wind brought dozens of wind blades to hit the dozen or so ninjas. Uchiha ninja reacted extremely quickly and dispersed quickly. 3 Jonin hand seals launched defensive ninjutsu, and the others spread into a surrounding formation and approached the crazy black cat. Makoto's eyes were a little desperate. When she was the loneliest, the saddest, and the darkest time in her life, it was the little black cat who accompanied her, comforted her, and encouraged her to live. Really, if the little black cat hadn't kept staring at her, she might have committed suicide. The little black cat is the closest relative. But now, she will helplessly watch her relatives killed. Makoto knew that Uchiha was targeting him. In the death of her third uncle Uchiha Leiyang, Uchiha, who was an elite Jonin, was an important participant. He was the second elder, and the second elder was the highest authority of the Uchiha clan. Characters. In the Uchiha clan, too many people want Makoto to die, because Makoto Master is rich and the niece of Uchiha Leiyang. They want to kill them all, but they have never had the chance. Makoto's hands were shaking. She understood everything. No, you can't do this. You can't. Makoto screamed, pulling out his pocket knife and dashing into the woods. Uchiha Shing, who had a ruthless expression, suddenly became happy, and then turned into a violent rage, shouting like thunder, "Okay. Uchiha Makoto, you can tolerate beasts' murder, even if you dare to kill each other. See if I don't." Quote. Uchiha line is elite Jonin. The strength surpasses Uchiha Makoto very much. Holding the tachi in his hand, Uchiha dodged and rushed towards Makoto. Murderous, he just wanted to kill, to prevent someone from saving Makoto after the fact. The cleanest way to deal with it is to kill it directly. The onlookers who came nearby were all stunned. What kind of plot development is this? Crawling on the Jinchuriki column also opened his eyes at this time, and there was a flash of light in his eyes. Chapter 0884 be thrown off balance. Uchiha Shing quickly approached Uchiha Makoto. The corner of his mouth evoked a ferocious arc. He wanted to kill it directly. If you don't catch, don't ask, just kill. Killing Uchiha Makoto are too great. Number 1, revenge. When Uchiha Leiyang came to power, Uchiha Shing was marginalized. Although Leiyang is dead now, his niece is still alive. Third, to seize the huge wealth of Uchiha Makoto. Some senior members of the Uchiha clan have a private agreement that whoever can kill Uchiha Makoto, no matter what method, as long as Uchiha Makoto can be removed, then whoever can take half of Uchiha Makoto's huge wealth. Of course, in the case of leaving trouble, killing Uchiha Makoto like this, there are still some small troubles, such as Hokage will ask, Hanguang's relatives and friends will also come to find out, and the patriarch's wife Uchiha Shangyan will definitely be extremely sad. But these are just little troubles after all. Nothing at all. Uchiha Makoto even dared to use a knife on his own people. It was impulsive to say it lightly, and it was a traitor to say it more seriously. Killing her was also an internal matter of the Uchiha clan, and even Hokage couldn't say a word. Golden opportunity. Uchiha was extremely excited in his heart. He didn't expect that such a sudden event as a ninja going crazy would lead to such a big harvest. Makoto rushed into the woods with the short knife Yuhi in his eyes. He heard the shouting behind him, and realized that something was wrong, so he turned around. Uchiha immediately killed her and cut him off with a knife. Uchiha Makoto didn't respond slowly, he quickly blocked the knife, and his arm was numb. Uchiha Shing was even more happy. The two fought, and Uchiha Makoto also blocked a knife. In front of everyone's eyes, he was more able to confirm the atrocity that Uchiha Makoto wanted to kill against each other. Damn it! Uchiha Shing roared again, his sword gleaming like thunder. In fact, he is good at Kaiten fire-style ninjutsu. Swordsmanship is average, but the sword kills faster and more simply. It turned out. Ah! It's over. There was a lot of exclamations around. At this time, hundreds of ninjas had arrived, including some Uchiha ninjas, as well as ninjas living nearby and passing by. They were not easy to intervene in this matter. Watching Uchiha about to slash Uchiha Makoto under the knife, some people screamed and covered their mouths. At this time, Uchiha Shing let out a miserable cry. Before he could cut off his knife, he retracted his hand and knelt on the ground while covering his left eye. Blood gushed from his fingers like Izumi. What? A few ninjas with sufficient strength saw it, and just at that moment, a phantom flashed in front of Uchiha. Uchiha Makoto's face was pale, she thought she was going to die, and she almost. After being in a trance, she felt that something seemed to be on her shoulders, and she turned her head to see that it was a furry purple little guy. Shadow Cat. Luhan once said to Shadow Cat that if he is not there, it must protect Uchiha Makoto, but it cannot kill people in Konoha village, that will hurt Makoto. Shadow Cat strictly implemented Luhan's orders, and Makoto, who was protecting him at the critical moment, did not kill Uchiha, but blinded his left eye. The most important body organ of the Uchiha tribe is the eye. Because of Sharingan. Sharingan is a part of the strength of the Uchiha ninja. If one of his eyes is blind, his strength will be greatly reduced. Because many demonic illusions require both eyes to activate. Shadow Cat squatted on Uchiha Makoto's shoulder, with the tip of its right paw sticking out, with blood on it. It licked its paw, and then vomited again, as if it didn't like the smell of blood. And then, meow meow, again. Called out. Hearing the meowing of the shadow cat, the violent black cat in the forest suddenly stopped, and then its body shrank rapidly, becoming the size of a slap, lying weakly on the ground with fear in its eyes. The dozen or so Uchiha ninjas who wanted to besiege the little black cat stopped, not because the black cat was no longer mad, but because the scream of Uchiha was too intimidating, and their attention was attracted past. It's a ninja. It's the cat. Purple cat. Among the ninja onlookers, many people judged what happened, and they saw the shadow cat on Makoto's shoulder. The surroundings fell silent. Uchiha Makoto was also stunned. She already knew that this matter could not end no matter what. Covering his bleeding left eye, Uchiha knelt down on one knee, his body trembled and slowly raised his head. His right eye was full of resentment. He was on the verge of madness, and he was blind in one eye. For Uchiha ninjas, it's half crippled. His future life has been ruined. Uchiha Zing's eyes swept to Shadow Cat. He suddenly picked up the knife and quickly got up, violently shooting out the knife. The Shadow Cat's eyes rolled. Ah! Uchiha shouted even more sternly. dropped the knife and knelt on the ground while covering his head. Fear arose in his heart, because he knew that he had been attacked by the demonic illusion spirit, the one who looked like a human and animal. Harmful little milk cat. Very scary. Makoto suddenly dropped the dagger in his hand, turned and ran deep into the woods. The ninja of the Ministry of Internal Affairs, who were all confused, didn't stop her. She ran directly to the little black cat and held the little black cat in her arms. Kill her for me, quick, kill her. Uchiha's painful and frantic cry suddenly sounded. Then a dozen Uchiha ninjas from the Internal Affairs force of the Uchiha tribe looked at each other, and with only a slight hesitation, they all rushed towards Uchiha Makoto aggressively. The shadow cat disappeared directly on Makoto's shoulders, and flickering appeared everywhere in the woods. Grab it. Ah. My eyes. Damn. Screams reminded me that all the ninjas near Uchiha Makoto were blinded by the shadow cat, covering their eyes and screaming. No one could bear the pain. The shadow cat showed not only its speed, because sometimes it just disappears completely and reappears, a real instant ability. With its strength, it doesn't take 2 claws to kill all these people, but Luhan didn't let it kill people in Konoha village. Time and Space Ninja Beast. An exclamation suddenly sounded in the crowd. Chapter 0885_them. Namikaze Minato, who just arrived at the scene. Time-space ninjutsu is extremely rare. Although many of them have effects similar to time-space ninjutsu, most of them are body blinking techniques, such as basic body linking techniques, or mayfly techniques, but they are not considered time-space ninjutsu. Time-space ninjutsu. The attributes of ninjutsu are very special. The ghostly cat's flickering ability is the real time and space ninjutsu. Others can't see it at all, only the Grandmaster Namikaze Minato of Hiraishin's technique. He understands the nature of time-space ninjutsu and can see through it at a glance. Of course, he can't see that it is not ninjutsu, but an innate ability. It's almost the same. Being able to cultivate time-space ninjutsu, or being gifted with time-space ability, is the same in the end. And the ninja beasts that have the ability of time and space are called space-time ninjas. This is an extremely advanced, extremely rare ninja beast, and its value is unimaginable. In the woods, all the ninjas close to Uchiha Makoto were caught blind in one eye and temporarily lost their combat effectiveness. At this time, there were already hundreds of ninjas who came here to watch, and the number was still increasing, and many of them were Uchiha ninjas. Damn it! Damn it! Allow the beast to kill her for me. Uchiha staggered to his feet, roared, and charged at Uchiha Makoto with the knife again. He was already crazy, otherwise he would not have the courage to face him to Shadow Cat. At the same time, get the Uchiha line command. Around more Uchiha ninjas rushed into the woods, among them some elite Jonin, even more powerful than the Uchiha line. Such a thing happened in front of so many people. If the Uchiha clan could not solve it, the reputation will inevitably be affected. For them, killing Uchiha Makoto is clearing the portal. Of course, some Uchiha ninjas have ulterior motives in their hearts. Namikaze Minato's attention was originally on Shadow Cat, but now he frowned and turned his attention to Uchiha Makoto. From a private point of view, he wants to prevent today's tragedy, but he has no such right. Although Namikaze Minato at this time already has the name of Shining, his strength is strong enough to crush all the Uchiha ninjas present. But, Uchiha ninjas are all members of the Konoha police force. Moreover, this matter also belongs to the Uchiha clan. Due to the influence of 2 factors, Namikaze Minato cannot take action at all. Meow. Seeing a group of people rushing in again, the Shadow Cat called and stared at Uchiha Shing. With its wisdom, it could distinguish the situation. It knew that Uchiha Makoto would be threatened today because of Uchiha Shing. It moved. The flash appeared in front of Uchiha, and it was about to blind Uchiha's other eye. All the hairs on Uchiha's body stood up, and a terrifying sense of crisis enveloped him. He wanted to respond, but his speed was really too slow in front of Shadow Cat, and everything was in vain. The purple light flashed in front of him, but the black light appeared almost at the same time, driving away the purple light. A figure suddenly appeared in front of Uchiha, and the terrifying knife light slashed towards the shadow cat. The shadow cat was almost hit, but his body twisted and disappeared out of thin air, avoiding the sudden murderous intent. The knife light followed the shadow cat like a shadow, and attacked 13 times in a row, all of which were unsuccessful. Didged away, and appeared on the canopy of a big tree more than 20 meters behind Uchiha Makoto, with all the hair standing up, staring at the bottom with high vigilance. A black figure appeared beside Makoto. Seeing this man, all the Uchiha ninjas who were running towards Uchiha Makoto stopped, and the surroundings became completely silent. Although this person is wearing a black robe and a mask, no one in Konoha knows him. He is extremely powerful and has great power. He has the right to interfere in any disputes in the Konoha village. Even if the Uchiha clan chief is here, he must be polite to him. He is the current captain of Konoha Anbu, Hotake Taishuo. Call, 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 call. After Hotake Taishuo appeared to drive away the shadow cat, 8 figures quickly flashed around him, all of them were Anbu ninjas. Seeing Hotake Taishuo coming, Namikaze Minato in the crowd heaved a sigh of relief. At the same time, Orochimaru also appeared in the crowd on the other side of the woods. Although his face was cold, his eyes were strange. He knew that Han Guang lived here, and usually he didn't come here. It was trouble today, so he hurried to take a look. Obviously Uchiha Makoto was bullied. But the cold light is not here. What's going on? Hotake Taishuo glanced at the scene and asked coldly. This bitch, she tolerates beasts. We want to deal with that beast, but we didn't expect that she would dare to shoot us with a knife. She is damned. Damn it. Uchiha Shin seemed to be suffering from mania, and yelled and became very excited. Hotake Taishuo stood there, staring coldly at Uchiha. Uchiha Zing's voice gradually decreased, the whole person also calmed down, and there was fear in his heart. Hotake Taishuo can be said to be the most ruthless Anbu captain in history. Uchiha Shin finally reacted and understood who he was talking to. Moreover, the affair between Uchiha Makoto and the late Han Guang has been circulated in Konoha for many years. And Hotake Taishuo is Han Guang's direct disciple. It's her, it's all her fault. Uchiha had no momentum, his voice was weak, he covered his bleeding eyes and lowered his head, not daring to look Hotake Taishuo's eyes. Call. A whirlwind suddenly appeared beside Hotake Taishuo, and a middle-aged man with a dignified temperament in his 30s appeared out of thin air. He glanced at Hotake Taishuo, then swept the scene again. Seeing that more than a dozen Uchiha ninjas had been blinded in one eye, he frowned and asked, "What's wrong?" This person, the current head of the Uchiha clan, Uchiha Fugaku. In the north of the country of fire, there are vast forests. Luhan still followed White Zetsu, and the two had already run hundreds of kilometers away from Konoha village. Insight maps is always on. Sudden, the big Yuhi point representing White Zetsu has shrunk a lot, and the identity information disappeared. At the same time, another person entered from the north of the detection range of the Insight map, replacing White Zetsu and becoming the big Yuhi name. This man, Black Zetsu. Chapter 0886_Kill Heart. Black Zetsu seems to have come to join White Zetsu. The two quickly approached, and then turned into one person on the Insight map. Absolutely. Luhan was overjoyed. If it was Ju, it would be more likely to see Uchiha Madara. At the same time, he became more careful. Although he had a strong murderous intention in his heart and had a strong desire to kill Ju, he understood that he should endure it at this time. Find Uchiha Madara, kill Uchiha Madara is the real thing. Begin to move to the northwest. Luhan followed closely. In this way, after another 5 hours, it was noon, and Luhan had followed them out of the central area of the Fire Nation to the real northern boundary. The endless forest is full of dense trees, insects and birds singing, and the natural atmosphere is strong. Luhan flickered and moved in the forest, his whereabouts were mysterious. Sudden. The insight map showed that the absolute acceleration 2 kilometers away, the movement speed more than doubled, and then disappeared on the insight map. Lu Han was startled. He stopped immediately, hid in the bushes, and entered a dark state again. Wait. There are 2 possibilities of disappearing: either they find someone following and hide, or they reach their destination and enter the underground base. Because there is a possibility of the former, Lu Han is not in a hurry to go there. Anyway, if it is the latter, the base will not be able to escape. Lu Han was very patient. He waited for half an hour. Although he might have run away at this time, if he ran from the ground along the organic matter, Lu Han couldn't catch up, so it didn't matter. It doesn't make sense. If the stalker is really discovered, with his character, he must want to know who is stalking, and he shouldn't run away easily. People are like that. If Lu Han found out that someone was following him, he would definitely find out who was following him, otherwise he wouldn't even know who the enemy was. Lu Han moved, and his movements were very slow. He quietly took out a large shuriken from his space backpack and put it back. The large shuriken is a melee weapon, one of the weapons commonly used by ninjas, but compared with the sword, there are relatively few people who use it. Ninja, breath-changing technique. In a hidden state, Lu Han used a secret technique to change his breath. After waiting for a few more minutes, there was still no movement. Lu Han kicked his feet and flew out, quickly approaching the position where he had disappeared. After more than 10 seconds, Lu Han reached the position. Except for the grass, trees and stones covered with moss, there was nothing special here. Lu Han hid in the tree and looked around. A cold feeling suddenly appeared behind Lu Han. A black and white figure flickered in the canopy of the tree. The pitch-black palm digs straight into Lu Han's back. The speed is outrageous. Lu Han's reaction is extremely fast. The large shuriken spins rapidly at the meeting, and slashes backwards swiftly. Huh! Ju let out a surprised voice, shrank directly into the tree, and then grew out of the grass on the ground. He looked at the figure on the tree in surprise, then slowly raised his hand and touched his cheek. Followed by an unbelievable look. There was a small wound on his cheek. Very shallow, even for ordinary people, it is not a serious injury. But absolutely, this is unimaginable. Because he hasn't been hurt for too long. Just. Almost, if he dodged a little too slowly, the spinning large shuriken would definitely cut his head. Lu Han jumped down from the tree and looked at Ju with Jiu Jing Wubo's eyes. Ju was extremely vigilant, staring at Lu Han, his thoughts turned sharply. Who is this person? What a terrifying power. With a large shuriken. He couldn't see Lu Han, because Lu Han's eyes were different from before, his clothes and weapons were different, and his breath was changed by the secret technique. Although the body shape remained the same, there were so many people with similar body shapes. The same body shape alone is not enough to do speculation basis. Moreover, Han Guang has been dead for 10 years. It has been confirmed many times, it is really dead. Naturally, he would not doubt, because he never thought that people who had really died could be resurrected. There was no precedent at all, and impure world reincarnation was not really resurrected at all. If there was a precedent for resurrection, Uchiha Madara would not have to bother so much. Arranged. Who sent you here? Ju asked coldly. It's amazing that you can actually find my track. Lu Han said in a strange tone. Oh, you are not a competent stalker. Ju sneered. Really? Maybe. Lu Han's eyes flashed, showing a strong killing intent, but I am a competent killer, do you believe it? Lu Han has already moved to kill. The tracking failed, since it was discovered, then kill him. You are very confident. Staring at Lu Han, I didn't expect that there would be a ninja like you in this world. Bullshit, usually with a purpose. For example, Ju is currently testing Lu Han. He really wants to know, who is following him? Who sent this man? I never think that the person in front of me is a ninja of some secret force, and I never believe that there are secret forces in this world that he doesn't know about. He must have been sent. So, who sent him? You think you know everything. You're wrong. Luhan had already raised his large shuriken, and at the same time he had stored energy under his feet. He had already thought of a way to kill him to prevent him from escaping. "Did Sarutobi Hiruzen send you here?" Ju suddenly burst out. At this moment, he will definitely focus all his attention on Luhan's eyes. Luhan's eyes flashed unnaturally. "Damn it! What is Sarutobi Hiruzen doing? He asked you to kill me. Damn it!" Ju was furious. I don't know if he was really angry, but he behaved like this. He seemed to have determined that the stalker was sent by Sarutobi Hiruzen. "Because this is the most reasonable." Luhan's heart moved, and then he said in a weird tone, "The wrong information has caused us to die hundreds of ninjas. Someone should be buried with us. Damn, go back and tell Sarutobi Hiruzen, I will make him regret it." Ju roared, then dodged and disappeared. He got into the ground, and quickly moved deep underground by relying on the underground organic matter. "Get me out." A terrifying aura rose from Luhan's body. Lao Gao raised his right foot suddenly, and stomped down hard. Boom _ Forest earthquakes, trees falling, and dust splashing. Chapter 0887 _ Absolute Fear. Luhan had already changed his breath, so he didn't show off his breath, and he had just prepared to attack the ground, so he grasped the best time to attack. Luhan didn't intend to reveal his identity. Because there is absolutely a possibility of running away, although Luhan is determined to kill him, there is a possibility of failure, so he has to be on guard. The power of taijutsu blessed his right foot, and the terrifying power was shot into the ground. At this moment, with Luhan as the far point, a monstrous earth wave broke out in the forest, and the surrounding trees were directly overturned by the surging soil, and the earth was cracking. Luhan flashed 100 meters and kicked again. Boom _ With the same attack, there was another earthquake in the forest. The previous earthquake was not over yet. This attack formed a superposition. Luhan flickered again, changed his position, and attacked again with his feet. Boom, 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 boom. Luhan's figure is everywhere in the forest. Maybe it can't be regarded as a forest anymore, because this forest has been quickly destroyed by him, and his output chakra is not as good as the loss, and every time it will cause a slight earthquake, but you must understand that the source of the earthquakes on the surface, even minor ones, will tear out cracks in the ground, dislocate rock layers, tear the tangled roots of plants, and even cause underground rivers to be cut off or diverted. Everything is said to be responsible, but it actually happened in a very short period of time. This was Luhan's way of preventing him from escaping. The art of mayfly relies on organic matter to move. Soil and stones are inorganic matter, plant roots contain organic matter, and water itself is inorganic matter, but that refers to pure water. Groundwater in nature is not pure water, usually contains various elements, even minerals, also contain trace amounts of organic matter, which is why the mayfly works in natural waters. This is a forest. The rhizomes of towering trees will extend at least tens of meters underground, and there is deep underground water. This is the guarantee that you can rely on organic matter to go underground. But if the rhizomes of the plants that are connected and entangled with each other and extend to the depths of the ground are broken, it is like the road that allows the plankton to move. In fact, the rhizomes are secondary, mainly water. There are real underground rivers that allow a lot of groundwater to circulate. This groundwater network with organic matter extends in all directions and connects the whole world. Once he entered the groundwater source layer, Luhan really couldn't catch him. What Luhan is doing is, on the one hand, to break those rhizomes, and on the other hand, to crack and dislocate the ground, completely mess up the bottom, and break all the roads formed by those organic matter. Moreover, the power is transmitted to the ground, and then the weight of the earth will form a great oppression on the absolute. Boom, 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 boom. Luhan kept flickering and stomping his feet. The forest soon turned into ruins. Luhan didn't seem satisfied. He cast Shadow Clone again with Hand Seal. 5 Luhan appeared. It will stack up and cause more damage to the ground. Underground. Must be going crazy. For the first time in his life, he encountered such a situation. The technique of the mayfly has weaknesses, and it cannot penetrate inorganic substances at all. Sand and rocks are inorganic substances, and underground, sand and rocks are the main components, accounting for more than 99%. The rest is organic matter, that is to say, there are not many roads that must be taken. And now, these roads are dislocating and breaking with earthquakes. Ju came to a dead end. He originally walked down the roots of the trees, but the roots in front were all broken, and cracks appeared in the ground. The large entangled tree roots were neatly torn off. It sounds like a moat. He couldn't emerge from the dirt-filled ground, where the weight of the earth would crush him into a patty. Damn it! Ju Shin cursed, changed direction, and moved along the rhizome, and then he found the water source. Although it was only a small tributary, Ju was overjoyed. Never enter the water with the mayfly technique. The earth continued to vibrate. After only 20 meters, there is no road ahead. This tributary was originally connected to the underground river, but due to the earthquake, the underground soil and rocks were dislocated, and the road was directly cut off. How could this be? How could this be? How strong is his power? Fear appeared in Ju's heart, and if this continued, he would have to die underground. If he is in a water flow, the two sides of the water flow are dislocated and disconnected, and there is no organic connection, then he will die in this water flow. This place is underground, trapped in a section of organic matter. There is no way to heaven and no way to earth. It is dead. No, I can't die here. I can't die here. Ju ran wildly underground, entering dead ends again and again, and finally understood that he might really die. Absolutely start going up. He's going back to the surface. Gotta get back to the surface quickly. Otherwise, when the underground cracks reach a certain level, there will be a collapse. Even if it collapses half an inch down, that kind of force will directly crush him. On the ground, Luhan's attacks became more and more frantic. In less than a minute, he had output nearly 50% of his chakra. He calculated it right. If he never came out within 2 minutes, he would either escape or die underground due to bad luck. In fact, with Luhan's power, if he just attacked the surface directly, it would not be able to cause such great damage. He hit the power underground, and then burst out from the ground. The penetrating power of the magic power of taijutsu is very terrifying. Yuhi's name suddenly appeared on the insight map. It must have almost reached the surface. The 4 clones disappeared immediately, and the main body Lu Hanfei flashed towards Ju's position on the insight map. After a second, Ju grew out of the fallen tree. Luhan appeared behind him in an instant, and the large Kuwu flying slashed down. Boom _ The fallen tree was smashed to pieces. Ju narrowly escaped Luhan's attack and didn't dare to stop for a moment. Luhan's strength was too terrifying, but Ju's frontal combat ability was very problematic. Blink. Ju reappeared and split into 2. White Zetsu rushed towards Luhan, and Black Zetsu fled wildly. Run away. Chapter 0888 Senju Hashirama Cell. Contrast, the Black Zetsu at this time is 100 times more important than the White Zetsu, because White Zetsu still has a clone, and the clone White Zetsu does not rely on the main body to exist. The main body dies, the clone is still alive, so even if the White Zetsu body dies, White Zetsu will not disappear either. But Black Zetsu is different, it's over when you die. Black Zetsu flees like crazy. White Zetsu pounces on Luhan. He wants to stop Luhan and give Black Zetsu a greater chance of escape, in other words. He is here to die. Luhan wanted to chase after Black Zetsu. He understood the importance of Black Zetsu, but White Zetsu rushed in front of him without fear of death. Luhan twisted his waist and quickly changed his moves, and the swirling large shuriken burst into terror, the power of the slashing down. White Zetsu quickly counted 3 pieces of nepenthes around him, forming an encirclement, protecting White Zetsu within them. Chirp _ With one slash, the pitcher plant was torn apart by the light of the sword, and the large shuriken swirling cut off one of White Zetsu's arms. White Zetsu did not escape. Instead, it flew around to Lu Han's side. Lu Han turned around and attacked, and cut off White Zetsu's other arm. White Zetsu flashed again. He was around Lu Han to make money, and the pitcher plant was destroyed in one blow. Delay time. Puchi _ Chica _ Swipe _ Lu Han kept firing his knives. Although the large shuriken was not his specialty, his swordsmanship disciple was too strong. Anything with a blade would turn into a terrifying weapon in his hand. Han almost shredded White Zetsu's last two blows. Lu Han first chopped off White Zetsu's head, and then split it in half. Wow! The golden light erupted, and 20 or 30 pieces of falling objects, including ingots and scrolls, spewed up with the light, and then turned into golden light and flew into Lu Han's body. Body White Zetsu, die! Lu Han stopped. His face was a little ugly. Although he killed White Zetsu, Black Zetsu ran away. Black Zetsu had disappeared on the insight map. A few seconds was enough for Black Zetsu to run out of 100 meters, and then sneak into a deep underground place. The location could not be determined, and Lu Han could no longer use the previous method to force it out. Black Zetsu. Damn, you run really fast. Lu Han muttered in a low voice. Black Zetsu's run is really too decisive. Why don't you fight? Black Zetsu's combat power is very strong. Although he is not good at frontal fighting, his ability is rather strange, but he is still powerful after all. Lu Han didn't show his true strength. He hid it, and Black Zetsu ran away. Unexpectedly, this guy would be so reluctant to take such a risk. Lu Han stared at the insight map for a while, but the big Yuhi point representing Black Zetsu didn't appear again, so he gave up completely, and sighed twice. What a pity, what a pity. Lu Han raised his hand in front of his mouth, and was about to spit fire. He was going to burn White Zetsu's body and leave here. White Zetsu, Lu Han's eyes are getting brighter and brighter, even glowing. Senju Hashirama's cells. White Zetsu has a lot of Senju Hashirama's cells. The biggest difference between the main body White Zetsu and the cloned White Zetsu is the number of Hashirama cells. They can exist independently and do not depend on each other. The main reason White Zetsu is strong is that there are more Senju Hashirama cells in the body. Cells. Transplantation. Is this good? Thoughts flashed through Lu Han's mind like thunder. For many years, he has been relying on the use of scrolls and cultivation to improve his strength and increase his abilities. He never thought of making himself a real test body, and he never thought of transplanting anything. But this time. Different. Very different. Relying on the transplantation of Senju Hashirama cells to obtain powerful abilities, this is a very mature transformation method in the original work. This kind of transplantation has already appeared decades ago when Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama ended the Valley Battle. Uchiha Madara transplanted Senju Hashirama cells, not only after acquiring abilities such as Mokudan, Wood Style, and after training, Rinnegan was activated before dying of old age. In the original work, the ninjas transplanted with Senju Hashirama cells include Danzo, Yamato, Uchiha Obito and others. It seems. Without any side effects. Not bad. Very good, very good. Lu Han said, becoming more and more satisfied, and a little excited. Even the resentment for not killing Black Zetsu has faded a lot. With a wave of his hand, Lu Han put all the fragments of White Zetsu's body into the space backpack. Immediately afterwards, Lu Han's expression changed again. How to transplant? Lu Han's face became ugly again. He didn't know how to transplant Senju Hashirama cells into his body, and even, he didn't know how to extract Senju Hashirama cells from White Zetsu's corpse. However, it seems. Orochimaru will it. Konoha village. At dusk, the sky is full of yuhi, and the setting sun is like blood. At dusk, the busiest time of the day in Konoha village, the streets are full of people and there is a lot of noise. The restaurants and tea shops are doing good business, and the atmosphere of war is not very strong here. The waves in the morning have become a hot topic in the Konoha village at this time, and people are discussing topics about Uchiha Makoto, ninja cats, and blindness. Many people have already asserted that Uchiha Makoto will be executed, and no one can save her. Because today's incident is too serious, more than a dozen Uchiha ninjas have been blinded in one eye, including elite Jonin. Generally, ninjas are blinded in one eye. At most, their vision is not good, and their combat effectiveness is slightly backward. However, the Uchiha tribe is different, sharing in weight. It's too heavy, one is blind, the demonic illusion of both eyes can't be used, the ability to copy and see is completely weakened, the ability to observe is greatly reduced, and the strength is almost halved. Although all this was not done by Uchiha Makoto, it was done by the ninja beast who fought with her. Now, that ninja beast has disappeared, and the blame naturally falls on Uchiha Makoto. Makoto's home, in ruins, was full of devastation under the setting sun. Luhan appeared out of thin air in the nearby woods, frowning deeply. Chapter 0889 _ Its right to be exterminated. With Luhan's eyesight, he could see what happened. The house was destroyed by physical attacks. The woods had been attacked by futon wind-style ninjutsu. There were also some dried blood. Many of them fell in the shape of drops, and there was no large area of blood-spurting marks, which indicated that they had not been seriously injured. However, the inference about the bloodstain is too inaccurate, because the head was stabbed once, and the leg was stabbed once, and the amount of bleeding would not be much different, of course, if the bleeding was stopped in time. Insight map shows that there are orange dots everywhere in Konoha village, there are 30,000 to 40,000, and there is no Yuhi name. What happened? Luhan's face was ugly, and the shadow cat was gone. From the dryness of the bloodstain, he could infer that the morning of the incident should have been 10 hours ago. Luhan glanced at the audience, took 2 steps back, and his body gradually disappeared in the dark woods. He wanted to leave here and find a place to channel the shadow cat to his side, so that he could know what happened. Hissing. With the strange sound, Luhan looked down and saw that it was a small snake wandering in the grass, staring at Luhan with green eyes. Across a forest strip, on the street in the distance, at the top of the tower, Orochimaru stood on the pavilion, looking at Makoto's house, which had been in ruins. He knew that the cold light would return, but he didn't know when, so he waited here. Luhan appeared at the edge of the woods. Due to the angle of view, he did not see Luhan, nor did he sense Luhan's breath, but his snake found Luhan. In the woods, Luhan looked down at the snake and blinked. Call. A ghostly figure with an icy breath generally appeared beside Luhan, and with a finger, the little snake burrowed into the grass and disappeared. What's the matter? Luhan asked sideways, looking at the ruins outside the woods. The black cat ninja that Uchiha Makoto raised suddenly went crazy for some reason. These are all caused by its madness. After that, Uchiha's internal affairs troops arrived, and the team leader Uchiha ordered to kill the black cat ninja. Orochimaru began to tell the story. Although he didn't come to the scene at the first time, he could find out if he asked casually afterwards. It's not a very complicated story, but the evil of the human heart contained in it is disgusting. It's not Makoto's fault at all. In that case, no one should issue a kill order, even if the emotional factor is not considered, the arrest should be carried out. First of all, the little black cat is a high-level intelligent ninja beast, which is very rare, and secondly, shouldn't it be, find out why the little black cat is crazy? How can she figure out how to kill her? This is not in line with the rules of conduct during the war at all. If Sarutobi Hiruzen is present, he will definitely be a strong enough ninja to go up and subdue the little black cat directly. He may even shoot the little black cat himself, beat the little black cat and seal it, and then study, interrogation. Uchiha's behavior. He deliberately stimulated Uchiha Makoto, compared to Uchiha Makoto's swords against Uchiha ninjas, forming a vicious incident of cannibalism, and then killing Uchiha Makoto. Luhan didn't expect that after so many years, the people of the Uchiha tribe still refused to let go of the completely harmless Uchiha Makoto. Revenge for what happened back then. Eliminate dissidents. For Makoto's money. Perhaps, there are various reasons. The same clan should have one heart. Even if there are internal contradictions, they should not be killed like this. When Uchiha Leiyang came to power, he did not do anything to Uchiha Fugaku, but now these people, the Uchiha people seem to have this tradition. Since the very beginning of Konoha's establishment, Uchiha ninja, the most belligerent, began to get tired of war, and the clansmen became more and more dissatisfied with the clan leader Uchiha Madara. Well said. Tired. That's because they couldn't beat the Senju clan, so they said they were tired, but it was just because of fear. In the original book, the Uchiha clan exterminated the clan because the martial arts faction within the Uchiha clan was rising and wanted to rebel. Fugaku, who was concerned about Konoha, was afraid of being controlled by the general situation in the clan. He even volunteered to die. Luhan originally had a good impression of the Uchiha clan. He would not hate a huge clan just because some people did something wrong. It seems that some enemies are also worthy of respect. There are indeed many great people in the Uchiha clan. Uchiha Madara, who was deceived by Black Zetsu and lost his head. Uchiha Kagami during World War I. Uchiha Fugaku, who buried the whole clan for Konoha, and Uchiha Itachi, who was hurt alone. Because of these people, the Uchiha people have become different, with a dark side and a great side. And now, the current Uchiha clan. Luhan really doesn't like them at all anymore. It's right to be exterminated. After Uchiha Fugaku arrived, Sarutobi Hiruzen also heard about the incident, and Anbu was ordered to leave. At present, this matter has been transferred to the Uchiha clan to deal with. Orochimaru finally said. Where's Makoto? Luhan asked with a glance. In the Uchiha clan, I heard that she was locked up. Uchiha Fugaku seems to want to protect her, but... Orochimaru sneered. The situation in the Uchiha clan was not a secret, Orochimaru naturally knew. Fugaku, the contemporary patriarch of the Uchiha clan, who can't say enough words, can be said to be the most cowardly Uchiha clan leader in history. Oh yes, that cat, the purple one, is gone. Sarutobi Hiruzen has ordered a search. Orochimaru added. Luhan pondered and closed his eyes, as if he was thinking with his eyes closed. I want to save Makoto. I want to save Makoto. I will judge Makoto as my teammate. Luhan thought about something, kept hypnotizing himself, opened his eyes again, and opened the insight map. Uchiha Mansion more than 100 meters away, a large number of orange names were converted into Yuhi names, more than half of them. At the same time, the blue dots representing Uchiha Makoto also appeared. Judging from Makoto's location and the arrangement of Yuhi points around him, she should be locked up somewhere, under strict supervision, surrounded by ninja patrols, with bright and dark posts. People are still alive. Luhan breathed a sigh of relief, then tilted his head to look at Orochimaru, squinting slightly. At this moment, the hair on Orochimaru's back stood up, and Luhan's eyes had an inexplicable sense of terror. Chapter 0890 served me for 3 years. Orochimaru looked at Luhan very vigilantly. He didn't understand, why did Luhan show such eyes? This has nothing to do with me. Why are you looking at me like that? I am innocent, innocent. Nothing to do with me. Luhan suddenly raised his hand. Orochimaru's whole body was tense, and he almost moved. Luhan's hand lightly fell on Orochimaru's shoulder, and said lightly, "Don't be nervous, I won't hurt you." Orochimaru is more vigilant. Isn't this self-inflicted? What do you mean won't hurt me? You have something to say, don't be so scary, okay? For the first time in his life, Orochimaru felt this kind of unspeakable pressure. Hanghuang was once too legendary. He was the strongest in the ninja world. He was in charge of Konoha. Sarutobi Hiruzen also put pressure on Orochimaru, but Orochimaru and Sarutobi Hiruzen have a master-disciple relationship after all. and Orochimaru wants to save face, always considering the overall situation, and will not easily mess around. But the cold light is different. If you say kill you, kill you. And Orochimaru couldn't beat Luhan at all. Relax. Luhan swept Orochimaru's shoulder again, then moved his hand away, then walked away, and left the words, "Follow me." Orochimaru followed Luhan without hesitation. He approached Luhan because he wanted to know how Luhan was resurrected, and he wanted to get the ability to live immortally. Therefore, he would not stay away from Luhan because of some pressure. The dark little room, only a candlestick was lit, and Yuhi's Uchiha Makoto sat on the wooden floor in the corner, holding the sleeping little black cat in his arms. His face was miserable. This is the Uchiha clan's inner prison on duty ninja lounge. Makoto was originally going to be thrown into the real prison, but because of Uchiha Fugaku and Uchiha Keion, she was locked here, and it has been transformed into a temporary cell. Makoto was in a panic. She didn't know what the result of waiting for her was. Although Uchiha Shangyan had come here to comfort her before and said that she would definitely protect her, Makoto knew that this time was too big, and Uchiha Fugaku was in the clan, and he did not have the authority to make a single word. Those who really control the Uchiha clan are those elder. The shadow cat squatted in the darkest corner of the wooden cave, breathless, and no one knew it was here. Uchiha Makoto doesn't know, neither does Konoha. They're still looking for it. The shadow cat is still performing the task that Luhan gave it to protect Uchiha Makoto. If Uchiha Makoto is about to be executed, it has to show up and run away with Makoto. Woo! Shadow cat suddenly blinked and disappeared from the room. Somewhere in Konoha village, in an abandoned warehouse. Without the blood Matsuri, Luhan directly hand seal, the white smoke flashed in front of him, and the shadow cat was summoned by the psychic. Orochimaru showed such a look. How could the time-space ninja that can amaze Namikaze Minato belong to Uchiha Makoto? After the shadow cat appeared, it jumped directly onto Luhan's shoulder. Luhan grabbed it and slapped it twice. When the shadow cat showed an aggrieved look, Luhan asked, "The black cat is crazy, did you do it?" The shadow cat bowed his head in a guilty conscience, rolled around in Luhan's hands and acted coquettishly, with a pleasing look. Orochimaru looked at it again and was surprised. The ability to make other ninja beasts go crazy, this is demonic illusion. Eye surgery, psychic attack. The ninja beast with the ability of time and space is amazing enough, and this ninja cat is more than that. Tell me, what's the situation now? Luhan asked. Ms. Makoto is locked in. That Uchiha patriarch is quarreling with those elders. The patriarch is a waste. There is an elder named Zhang Lan who is very fierce. The little black cat gave a general description of the situation. Makoto is fine for now. Uchiha Fugaku and his wife are discussing with the senior Uchiha people how to deal with it. The senior officials shouted and killed. The Fugaku and his wife wanted to save someone. They were sprayed with dog blood. Bigger. Sarutobi Hiruzen has ordered this matter to be handled internally by the Uchiha clan, and no one else can interfere. After the shadow cat finished speaking, Orochimaru followed up, not knowing what it meant. Luhan glanced at Orochimaru and said nothing. Go, protect Makoto. If Makoto's life is in danger and you can't handle it, channel me to your side. Luhan patted the shadow cat and said. Meow. Shadow cat responded and disappeared out of thin air. Orochimaru's eyes widened. Damn it. At this time, can the space ninja be able to reverse psychic? You are going against the sky. Orochimaru turned his head to look at Luhan. His expression turned cold, and then he said, what are you going to do? Disappear with Uchiha Makoto, or go in and save people? It's heartbreaking to say that. It doesn't matter to Luhan. He can kill and do whatever he wants, but afterward, Uchiha Makoto will definitely become Konoha missing nin. There is no doubt about that. Luhan can't hurt Makoto. Moreover, Luhan really did that, and the handle fell into Orochimaru's hands. Luhan didn't want to stand in the same camp with Orochimaru, it was impossible. Luhan squinted at Orochimaru, seeing Orochimaru a little hairy, and then said, "You want to know how I was resurrected, right?" Orochimaru responded with a nasal voice. "You want my resurrection powers, right?" "Yes. However, my resurrection ability is not suitable for you, you can't be a master." Orochimaru was silent, a look of surprise flashed in his eyes. Han Guang said clearly, "What does it mean?" "Nothing good for him." If the two of them slowed down their identities, Orochimaru would definitely say yes, even if he didn't have the ability to revive, to deceive Luhan and lure Luhan to do things for him. However, Luhan said slowly again, "I also master a technique, the technique of the profound meaning of life. Although there are some side effects, it can indeed make people immortal." Orochimaru's heart skipped a beat, and a light flashed in his eyes. "Want to learn?" Luhan said lightly. "What conditions?" Orochimaru is very direct, he understands that there is no free lunch in the world. 3 years. Luhan said heavily, "Serve me for 3 years. I'll teach you this technique. After I find Tsunade, I'll let Tsunade be the guarantor." "How?" Orochimaru was silent for a moment, then said loudly, "Deal." Chapter 0891_Lost Uchiha Madara. Using his 3 years of time in exchange for the art of immortality, how can this deal be worthwhile? Orochimaru is not the kind of person who refuses to be subservient to others. He is a Konoha ninja. He believed in the respect of the strong, so there was nothing wrong with Luhan letting him serve for 3 years. As for having Tsunade on bail, Tsunade is Luhan's wife and Orochimaru's best friend. Now is the 47th year of Konoha. Orochimaru has not completely blackened and is not opposed to Tsunade. Therefore, Tsunade is the most suitable guarantor. If Luhan didn't keep his promise to teach Orochimaru the art of immortality in 3 years, with Tsunade's character, he would definitely be extremely disappointed with Luhan. The deeper the love, the greater the disappointment, and no wife wants her husband to be an unbeliever. Of using Tsunade as an intermediary is that Orochimaru can no longer do anything wrong. Maybe he will kill some innocent people, but he doesn't dare to go too far. Otherwise, Tsunade will be disappointed in him. Luhan breaking the contract is a matter of course and there is no pressure. After the two made an agreement, Orochimaru was silent again, and said to Luhan, "Lord Hangguang. This is a statement." Orochimaru did it very naturally, although it was still cold, but he did the same to Sarutobi Hiruzen, and Orochimaru did the same when Luhan was in charge of Konoha. "I'll give you the first task." Luhan squinted at Orochimaru, "Save Uchiha Makoto. No matter what method or means you use, there are no taboos. The only thing you need to pay attention to is that you can't let Uchiha Makoto become Konoha missing nin, understand?" Orochimaru nodded, he finally understood what happened to Luhan's eyes before. Luhan is cheating on him. Him to save Uchiha Makoto on the bright side will inevitably violate the rules of Konoha, and may even offend Sarutobi Hiruzen and offend the Uchiha tribe. "One more thing," Luhan said as he turned his wrist, and a piece of meat appeared on his hand. It was meat, but it was very strange. It didn't look like normal human flesh. The side that looked like the skin turned out to be its pure white. Orochimaru's pupils shrank violently. "White Zetsu's corpse fragments. Orochimaru can see it. He has seen White Zetsu." You killed him." Orochimaru was extremely shocked, because this White Zetsu, Sarutobi Hiruzen had chased and killed in front of everyone back then, but he couldn't even catch up, so he let White Zetsu run away. How long did it take for Han Guang to be resurrected? He actually found White Zetsu and killed him. "This is the main body White Zetsu, I did kill him." Luhan said lightly, however, he still has many clones that can survive independently, so White Zetsu won't disappear. Take it back and study it. As far as I know, White Zetsu has a lot of Senju Hashirama-sama cells in his body, try it and see if you can extract it. Orochimaru's face froze, and there was a buzzing sound in his head. Senju Hashirama's cells. White Zetsu is a test subject. Looking at the piece of meat, Orochimaru is like looking at a treasure. Luhan's mask revealed a hidden smile. This was the real reason why he let Orochimaru serve for 3 years. Makoto's matter was just to follow the trend, let Orochimaru extract Senju Hashirama cells, and transplant these cells into Luhan. It must be a complicated experiment, and Orochimaru has to try again and again. Luhan doesn't understand this, everything depends on Orochimaru. That's why Luhan made a 3-year pact with him. Of course, Luhan still completely trusts Orochimaru at this time, but let him be a researcher first. After that, Luhan must do something to strengthen his control over Orochimaru. At night, somewhere in the Land of Fire, there is a huge underground cave. Cross-legged on the futon, eyes closed, and his breath fluctuated. Cells continue to give him vitality, and he is still getting older and weaker. He knows that his days are running out. Uchiha Madara. At this moment, he is already pacing before the gate of hell. Destiny cannot be violated. Life is exhausted. It is extremely difficult to change destiny against the sky, even with Geto Mazo, demonic statue of the outer path. It can last for some time at most, but it cannot live forever. Something happened. A cold voice suddenly appeared. Black Zetsu dodged in the darkness in the distance, and flashed in front of Uchiha Madara. Uchiha Madara made a nasal sound and opened his eyes to look at Black Zetsu. White Zetsu is dead. Black Zetsu's face was extremely ugly, as if his mother had died. It's the body. Uchiha Madara seemed to freeze, and looked at Black Zetsu motionless, before making a hoarse and dry voice. Dead. He is dead. He's too old to take a big hit. Dead. Sarutobi Hiruzen sent a mysterious powerhouse to track White Zetsu all the way. After I merged with White Zetsu, I found someone was following him. I tried to assassinate that person, but I failed. That person is very strong. Black Zetsu explained quickly situation. Then, I was forced to return to the ground. White Zetsu stopped the man. And didn't come back. White Zetsu won't be caught alive, and if he doesn't come back, he will naturally die. Uchiha Madara slowly clenched his fists and closed his eyes, because the clenched fists were too hard and his arms were shaking. White Zetsu is too important to him now. Only the main body White Zetsu can create a clone, and the main body White Zetsu has a super sneaking ability. The main body White Zetsu is equivalent to the center of all clones. The information obtained by the clone White Zetsu will be aggregated to the main body White Zetsu. Although, Uchiha Madara has the ability to recreate a White Zetsu, but the price is too high. If you want a clone of White Zetsu to become the main White Zetsu, you only need to inject more Senju Hashirama cells into its body, and these spare Senju Hashirama cells are all cultivated by Geto Mazo, demonic statue of the outer path. You must know that the main body White Zetsu has the strength of today, which is the result of continuous strengthening. That is to say, if you want to create another main body, you need a lot of Senju Hashirama cells. 10 years ago, when Uchiha Madara fought against Han Guang, he was not willing to use those cells, but now, no more. Lost heavily. That person, is he really? Sent by Sarutobi Hiruzen, Uchiha Madara asked with bloodshot eyes. Chapter 0892 Makoto Life and Death. Sarutobi Hiruzen is not an impulsive person, although Uchiha Madara has not been in contact with Sarutobi Hiruzen, but over the years, White Zetsu has been in contact with Sarutobi Hiruzen, so Uchiha Madara still knows it well. Doubt. The point is, now that White Zetsu is dead, the murderer is nowhere to be found, there is no evidence at all, and the investigation is very difficult. Sarutobi Hiruzen is the most suspect. Black Zetsu said. He didn't say anything, but the possibility that Sarutobi Hiruzen is the mastermind, accounting for 90%, is undeniable. That person is a taijutsu ninja who is good at stealth. Tracking. The weapon used is a large shuriken, and he has practiced the magic of taijutsu. Physical magic. Uchiha Madara narrowed her eyes slightly. This is Konoha's art. There are very few masters, the most famous is Tsunade, and Tsunade left Konoha 9 years ago, living in no fixed place, and has long ignored the conflicts and disputes between ninjas. All evidence points to Sarutobi Hiruzen. White Zetsu purposefully. White Zetsu was followed after leaving Konoha, and the follower also mastered the Konoha Taijutsu of Taijutsu. That person once said that our misinformation killed hundreds of ninjas in Konoha. Black Zetsu added. Uchiha Madara was silent. Could it be because of those two false information that Sarutobi Hiruzen turned his face? Not impossible. Speaking of which, the two misinformation were wrong because they were given wrong, not because of timeliness. Just a balancing act. That person followed him all the way, and kept a long distance, and only started killing when you found out, right? Uchiha Madara asked. Yes, he was very careful and left Konoha from White Zetsu, and followed him for hours before and after. Black Zetsu said. Uchiha Madara blinked, as if he understood something, and then his face became extremely gloomy, and he suddenly understood. Stalkers are not meant to kill, but to find someone. That person wants to find the person behind White Zetsu through White Zetsu, find him Uchiha Madara. Damn it, Uchiha Madara murmured, and he completely figured it out. 10 years ago, the news that Uchiha Madara was still alive spread like wildfire and spread throughout the entire ninja world. Most people didn't believe it, but Sarutobi Hiruzen believed it, because it was what Tsunade told him, and Tsunade had seen the white-haired Uchiha Madara with his own eyes. After that, in the past few years, White Zetsu and Sarutobi Hiruzen had frequent contact. Sarutobi Hiruzen had proposed many times to meet Uchiha Madara, but White Zetsu pretended to be stupid every time, saying that the person behind it was not Uchiha Madara. Sarutobi Hiruzen has been looking for Uchiha Madara for more than a day or two. What he wants to do, Madara has no idea. But, it's definitely not a good thing. With Sarutobi Hiruzen's character, how could he tolerate someone who keeps stirring things up in secret? Check it out. Check it out for me. Uchiha Madara suddenly said fiercely, go to Konoha and find that person. I don't believe that there are ninjas in this world that we can't find. If that person is really Sarutobi Hiruzen's